Fella goes into an ice cream parlour, you see, and he's almost bent double. And he goes up to the counter and he says to the girl, I'd like an ice cream, please. And she says, yes, well, what flavour do you want? Would you like, lemon or raspberry ripple or whatever? And he says, I'd like a raspberry ripple, please. And she says, crushed nuts? He says, no, it's lumbago.
Come on.
Yes, don't tell me you heard that behind the bicycle shed at the infant school.
Oh, no. I did like crushed nuts, though, on my ice creams. They were nice, weren't they?
Nothing like crushed nuts on your ice creams.
Don't get them anymore.
Well, good evening,
ice cream
everyone.
when you crush nuts.
Yes, you can't have ice cream when you crush nuts. Evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting show. And tonight we've got Paul without his crush nuts. And Nathan.
Hello, good evening.
And Nathan with his crush nuts. How about that?
His crush nuts, who's propaganda minister.
Absolutely.
So you will believe what he says without question.
No. You will. Yeah,
you've lost it. Yeah,
almost started swearing now. It's too early for this, isn't it?
You said fudge cake.
You will believe what I will. Oh, God Almighty, put me on the spot. You'll believe what I tell you, and you'll be happy. Although you probably won't. You believe everything I tell you, and you won't be happy because otherwise you're doing it wrong.
Paul, you haven't got a title in Fockham Hall, have you? You need to. We need to give you a title.
Well, I thought I should probably sort of really have a vote on it at some point and put a whole series of options to the distributed population of the Fockham Hall estates around the world.
Yes. I think it should be Fockham Hall's 007.
Yes.
I mean, you got the voice for it, you know. I mean, you were on about the Walther PPK last week. I'm just thinking, you know.
Yes. Yes, money penny. The thing is, that's the second time in the last few days I've heard the phrase Walther PPK, because I was saying only the other morning, I could really do with one. I did. I was eating my Weetabix and I went, where's my Walther PPK? You know what it's like sometimes.
Yes.
It's a fine thing to have. It's a fine thing to have. I've never had one. No one's ever bought me one as a Christmas present. And they should, when you're going out on a mission, like getting chips and things like this, you should go armed to the teeth, so I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to get air guns now because Scotland, you've got to be licensed to have one. Luckily, it hasn't come in England and Wales. I'm not sure about Northern Ireland yet.
And it will. They'll call it something slightly different, but this is now in. I mean, they've got their technocratic, totalitarian, communist regime well in place. Why are people not rising up against it? Oh, that's right, because Tommy's leading the march. That'll solve everything.
That's right.
There we
and
go.
Also,
forget about that.
Can someone find out the flag factory that's making all these flags for the government to hand out to their, controlled opposition to plaster all around their country? Because I'd like to get shares in that flag factory because I reckon they're making them as fast as they can bleed and go. Unless they're all just last year.
Well, I'd like to know, because I'd like to get a free flag, if you don't mind. I won't mind a few. I've worked out my flag plan here. I want 5. I need 5 flags. Well, need's a bit strong, isn't it, really? But I'd like 5 flags for the garden. I want 5.
Why do you need 5?
Well, I want the Union Jack. I want the Cross of St. George. I want the Sussex County flag. I need the Yorkshire County flag so that people know that so they know that I'm an alien and an invader. And then I actually want, as the 5th flag, is the best looking one of the lot, I think, which is this white Anglo-Saxon dragon on a red background flag, which is just awesome. And in fact, Gary, who might not be tuning in at the moment, but shout out to Gary, just sent me a message about 10 minutes ago. The Hampshire Flag Company, hampshireflag.co.uk, they seem to produce a cracker. So I'm supposed to be getting organised with all this, but it's just been too sunny the last few days. I've done nothing, but I want that flag. It's great. And I would imagine that if I flew 5 of them, I'll get complaints. I just think that somewhere there's a delicate person and they're never more than 10 yards from you. There's too many delicate people in England. They're very, very delicate and fragile. And, you can't do that. Anyway, of course, and then what I will do is on the first Sunday of every month, they'll all be swapped for swastikas. I'll put 5 National Socialist flags up just to really put the creeps of everybody. And we'll put them up for 10 minutes, film it, and then take them down again when the coppers. Woo, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. No, we didn't do that.
Swastikas?
No. Why not go all out and stick a Russian flag next to it as well? I mean, you might as well do it properly. You know?
I couldn't do that. I'd get really upset. That really would upset me. No, I've just often. I mean, flags are just—they're silly powerful, aren't they? Aren't they powerful? They're so silly powerful.
My mug's better than your mug, Nathan. Yeah.
Whatever. My handle's not bust. Whatever.
Yeah.
Your handle is still on. My one fell off.
Mine's the only one that's still intact. Wait, I'll say that now. I'm going to drop it, aren't I?
Well, you've forgotten about one flag. And I'm a snowflake. I'm so upset. I'm going to need counselling for this. And that is the fucking flag.
Well, I haven't got one yet.
What's going on it?
It's a pair of bloomers.
I haven't got. Although somebody sent a great design. Yeah, I haven't got. Okay, well, I'll have a 6th one then. I'll have a 6th one. We'll get a fucking flag, or if you can send me a fucking tea towel, that'd be really good when I go sunbathing on the beach with my suntan lotion. And because I'm doing that all the time, and I want to look really, and my Speedos.
That's a terrifying vision.
Oh, it just made me feel a bit sick when I said that.
Yes. Remember to put a cucumber down the front of them as well.
I'm from Yorkshire, lad.
You did it.
I'm from Yorkshire. I don't need a bloody cucumber. I need less cucumber.
That's disgusting what Paul's just put in the comments there. We're not doing that. I mean, it would be very apt, to be fair, for this show. It would be very, very apt.
What was it? What's this? Could the
That's the
fucking
one.
flag be just a pair of wire fronts with a skid mark down the back?
Paul's not. I'm beginning to understand now why you've not appointed Paul as culture minister, because it would be it would not be a good appointment. It would be poor.
Culture attaché. Well, we better welcome everybody in chat. So there we go. So the first one on was Aunt Sally, very, very keen at 7:52.
Clean as well.
And clean as well. And what area of the bath are you in tonight, Aunt Sally? Are you in the bath?
Yes, is this pre-bath? Is it pre-bath or during the bath or après? It won't be après bath, will it? So it must be the pre-bath period. Yeah.
And as the first one on, she gets first choice in a politician or celebrity of her choice to blow a raspberry at. So 2-finger salute and 1 finger if American. So there you go, Aunt Sally. Please choose what politician or celebrity you would like abuse to. Thank you very much.
And in the meantime, you can get arrested for that now. Just saying.
Yes. Sue Sparkle. You're right there. Evening all. Mark Anthony.
Oh, these are great names, aren't they?
I
Aunt
like
Sally,
that.
Sue Sparkle, Alice Gorgeous sometimes turns up.
Paul,
all the ladies'
Molly.
names are so good. The blokes have got names like Arse Burgers as Fudge. I mean, really, you can see the difference, can't you? Can you see the difference, everybody?
I can see the difference. But
hang on, something's not right. Something's not right. Where's my gorgeous troll? Holly?
There's no troll.
Where are you?
No.
Yeah, where's my troll?
We need we need some lady chaps on the show. Ladies? There's all chaps around here, Ladies?
Oh,
what?
Good Lord.
What? Female?
You do.
Even
Sue
though they're
Sparkle's
female,
right.
we
Come
do.
on, Sue.
We do.
Get in here.
Well, we have next Sunday.
Looking
We got
good.
Dawn Lester coming on. So, and she's a lady. So there we go. So
Is this what society is crumbled to now? Is this the best? Is this highlight? We've all gone completely insane and we just talk gibberish for the rest of eternity.
Yes.
I think, I can kind of live with that in a way.
now, Six Blade, this is Survival Steve says Cowabunga.
Has he
Really?
been watching the Turtles?
Oh, have you got ointment for it or something,
Maybe.
Paul, aren't you the techie guy, Paul? Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Asperger's as fudge. Evening, guys. That's it. Now Paul says apparently the flag company is dire straits. In fact, the manager is all in a flap. Oh dear, oh door. And Arsbaggers Fudge said flags are all made in China. Well, there
Isn't
we
that
go.
China?
China?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wouldn't surprise
And
me. Well, dinosaurs are made in China as well, apparently.
that's right.
No, they're not. Listen to this. The Hampshire Flag Company. Okay, this is why they're worth having a look at. We manufacture flags in the UK using Ministry of Defence approved materials. I suppose that means bomb materials or something. Ensuring excellence and top-notch quality. None of that Chinese muck. It says that in the advertising. That's great.
Really?
Our flag options cater to no, but I just threw that in because I just think it should be completely xenophobic advertising. It's much more fun.
Yes.
And so there you
Not
go.
these
It's all
Geordie's
fully
crap.
it's manufactured by nuns in Hampshire using the finest Ministry of Defence approved materials. Yeah, so there we go.
Excellent.
What's that, fishnets? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. They only do that after dark. Right, got you.
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Well,
And what's like the old Dave Allen
I could
joke,
expand
innit?
on that, but I'd get accused of being anti-woke, and then then I'd have
Yes.
a fake X storm or whatever the hell they call it these days. I don't know. I've never used it. Who cares? Anyway,
I have several flags in my sideboard. A Union flag, England flag, a Welsh flag, a Lancashire flag, and a Blackpool FC flag. None up. I have a few spare, Paul, if you want one. I'd love a Fockham flag. Well, yes. So it's designs at the ready. Aunt Sally's pre-bath. Well, Aunt Sally, please get your camera out, please, so we can see whether you're in the bath or out of the bath. We do
I think
need
a
to know
Fockham
this.
Hall flag is an absolutely. We need some designs for it. Somebody sent some pictures in ages ago, Eric. I think I probably sent them over to you on Telegram. It's several months ago, so that means 800 yards of messages on Telegram. You know what it's like.
Yes.
But they were pretty cool. They used an AI thing, and it was good. It needs to be. We need a flag. So shout out. We need a nice big flag. The good ones are 5 foot by 3 foot, so it's got to look that good, that big. Yeah, that's what we need. I'd get one. I'd fly a Fockham flag. I'd be a Fockham flag wearer.
Why not?
Yeah.
What do you think
It's
about
a bit of a tongue
Bloomers?
twister. The Fockham flag fluttering in the breeze. It sounds great. We could open a novel with it.
That's
And
right.
start writing stories about it.
can we have the motto "Fuck 'em all at Fockham Hall"?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
There you go.
we could. And Barefoot Forager could change her name to the Fockham Forager, couldn't she? Because we've got all that alliterative stuff there.
That's
on
right.
certain days. Not that she'd want to. I understand that you wouldn't want to.
Alliterations and stuff. She's going to correct you from now on. She's you've walked into a trap there. I mean, that's.
Why does she love alliterations? I love lovely alliterations.
Well, she keeps
They're
pointing out
lovely.
that I keep doing that. But I mean, my English is terrible, but thankfully hers isn't. So I'm all right for now. So anyone reading my book, it's sorry in advance.
Dear me,
Well,
I've just
now I have an
been,
editor who can actually
insulted.
speak
It's
as well.
terrible. I've just been told to fuck off. It's not very ladylike, is it?
But what do you think about it? A pair of bloomers, if the police come along and say, excuse me, you better take that flag down, you say, what, you're a pervert or something? It's my washing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got writing on it, isn't it? So I said, well, yeah, I wear bloomers with writing on it.
Some people thought it was a parachute.
Yeah. But
There you go.
we got the Barefoot Forager. Hello, you're lurking. And here we go. We got Survival Steve. The
Steve's
first
off.
rule of freedom is the self-defense principle. Yeah, so what should we go for in the air idea? Springer or CO2 or the ones that go and pump up with a foot pump? So, what's your advice there? Or the
You're
German
going for the methane option.
ones? Yes.
Good Lord.
Now, Aunt Sally. Oh, by the way, I got an apology, Aunt Sally. I didn't go to see Miles last Wednesday. No, not Wednesday. Hang on, when was it? Friday? Yeah, because no, I was a bit late actually, so I didn't go. Sorry about that. I've got a note from the parents. Does that suffice? I can't pick a politician because I'm not following any of them. Please pick on my behalf, Chris. So, okay, it's over to you, Paul or Nathan. Any politician because I can't because I'm the host. So, any politician or celebrity of your choice, please.
Can we not just put Parliament in there and release a dust cloud from heaven?
What are we picking them for? A special award?
Yeah,
I don't know.
a two-finger salute. You can blow a raspberry. Any of them.
Oh, who's that silly woman that might be the next Prime Minister. What's she
Prime
called?
Minister. Oh, bloody hell.
Deputy. The
Rachel
Labour
in
Party.
accounts?
What is she?
What, Rachel in
No.
accounts? No.
No, it's the gobby one with the sort of blondie, gingerish hair from. She's
the one with
dear.
big teeth. Teeth. No,
Yeah, of course, it's difficult to deliver a withering criticism of someone if you can't remember their name. That's how much impact she's had. She just comes across as a goofball. Oh, I don't know. There was a picture of her in a boat at the weekend, apparently vaping out on some boat lake or something. This was not that I mind; she can do what she likes, really. But there was her. They don't. I'm not. I love them all. I think they're all great. They're doing a fine job. They're doing a lovely job for everyone.
Because you have to now. You're obliged by UK law to tell the politicians what a wonderful job they're doing enslaving. I mean,
they're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, they're doing a wonderful job for their managers. It's just unfortunate that it's not us. It's a pity that it's not us that they're doing but they are doing a wonderful job for someone. Unfortunately, it's not us. Yeah.
Well, yes. Yeah. Look, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, as long as they get their 33% extra pay rise every year, everything will be absolutely fine.
Yes.
Angela Rayner, there you go. South Coast Rich is the only one whose brain's working right now.
Angela Rayner, hang on a minute. Has she got a sister called Claire that said, "Will you do that for us, dear? Will you do that?" Because there was Claire Rayner, wasn't there? Is there any relationship there? You know, she was an agony aunt.
Yeah. So, does she get a fart? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here we go. So you mean like this?
That's it. That's excellent. That's what we need.
I'll just give her a score. That was a little bit too accurate, Paul. When you let that one go, I'm wondering where the microphone was at that. You know.
I'm sorry, I've just had my tea. I've just been eating burgers. I've been talking about them all the time.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Sorry.
Remember, we got it owing to them a whoopee cushion full of gravy underneath their seats in the House of Commons. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
It's almost as good as the Iceland burgers, right?
Sorry about that. Oh, dear.
I'm glad you brought that up.
It's so childish. I can't stop it. I'm terribly sorry. I wish I'd not eaten that before.
Can you merge that one with the Starmer waffling? You know, a couple of weeks back, you had Starmer.
Oh yeah. Here you go. So this is it. This is how it goes. Yeah. I'm going to be using these all the time. They actually recorded him when he went to the toilet, you know, Starmer. You know? This is a tape I got anyway.
Did they catch him in the mainstream? You know.
Oh dear. Oh, I'm back at school again. It's sad. It's sad. I'm crying. It doesn't take much to get blokes going. Do you think toilet humour's just a bloke thing? It's just ridiculous.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Let's hope he leaves his microphone on when he goes to the Kazi. That'd be fantastic. Like,
So I need to send you these buttons. You need these buttons too. It makes life great. Whenever you're short of a word to say, you just hit one. Sorry.
Is it what have you got? Have you got like a soundboard, or is this all through your PC, or what? How does this work? I'm very clever. I'm very, very clever. I've actually got a bunch of impersonators all mic'd up in the corner. I just point at them and they make this sound. Really. It's terrible. You do realise this is like a Christmas present to Chris now. And it's like it's an Eric Von Essex Christmas present.
Heaven. That could be the Fockham national anthem.
I got a letter through from the Fockham Minister of Culture asking me to look into enhancing the way that Fockham Hall is projected into the world. And I thought, well, it would be good to actually, start to design the Fockham Hall soundscape and to make these files available to all Fockham Hall ambassadors and representatives throughout the world so that they can be introduced. Lord so-and-so of Fockham Hall. There we go.
No, I'm saying nothing. Why is it every time I'm coming here that the fart jokes and the fart innuendos, it just goes through the fucking roof? It's like, oh god, that sounds on YouTube again. Never mind. Bollocks.
Well, it's just one of those things, really. You obviously inspire it in Eric. It's not my doing at all, Nathan.
I know.
It's Eric's inspired by your presence.
The weird thing about this is, mate, when I actually hopped onto his Rumble show last night. Nobody noticed I was in there for 15 minutes, right? But as soon as I logged on, he started with the fart stuff, and I thought he's not even aware that I'm in the studio, and it's like
I didn't see you in the studio.
I'm emanating the fart resonance for you to jump on top of, and
seriously, I didn't see you there. Was you actually in the studio?
I think Nathan, it's actually Eric's default setting. Really,
I think so.
It's really running like this most of the day.
We're getting comments that asking us to cut the crap. Oh God, oh no, let's cut the crap. Right. Tell me about these Iceland burgers, because like this is quite. I when I came onto the pre-show chat, you're saying that basically Iceland beef burgers are not really food. I mean, imagine my surprise, right?
No, they haven't got chemicals in them. They're 90%.
They haven't got chemicals in them.
They haven't got chemicals, but the other ones have got chemicals. Because they put them up to £5, and I've needed counselling for it because the shock was just overwhelming. But I've looked at other burgers, and I've been to Aldi, and their burgers have got sodium metabisulfate, and that as well in them. And some of them, some of the supermarkets, not Aldi, have got tractor oil in their burgers called rapeseed oil.
Lovely.
So I'm not eating plastic. So far, Iceland have come up tops. You look in the ingredients, as my parents used to say, ingredients, and there's no crap in them. He doesn't say, but I should say crap free. So they're 90%.
This is really
a bit.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you've got to be in front of your mic, Eric, otherwise you disappear a bit. But it's the Monday Night Burger Bulletin. Is this? This is Monday's Burger Bulletin. Burger updates straight from Eric. Yeah.
So there we are. So Iceland are the best, and if you're over 60, which I've got to reach that age first. Oh, sorry. Would I tell a lie? No, if you're over 60, you get 10% discount on Tuesdays. So that's why I go there on Tuesdays.
Is that like their quiet day because nobody else is,
No, you get these
mate, at the rate of inflation, if it keeps going up at the minute, by Tuesday we're all going to be bankrupt. So you best go on Monday and chance 10%.
Well, there's all the old farts in there going. Drives you up the wall. Get on, dear. Get sod off. I want to get through the. Make way. I'm buying burgers.
No, that's me. I do that on purpose. I dither just to drive people crazy. You can stand in a position that makes it really difficult for people to get by. It's very funny. It's simple things like that. And then of course, to get by, they have to speak to you. Most people don't want to speak because they're so timid. I do it to make people have to speak to me. Just keep standing there, sort of. Can you move?
You sound as if you're really lonely now. I mean, I'm starting to feel sorry for you when you go shopping. I hate shopping. It's absolute ball ache.
Oh yeah, I am lonely. Oh yeah, very lonely. I go to the shops and start shouting very loudly, and suddenly I've got lots of friends. Yeah, oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that as let's
face it, philosophically, we're all alone. You might not think you are, but your entire life you spend it alone.
Interesting.
That's right.
Well, you're the only one who takes shopping. Hey, speaking of burgers, two minutes, because right. So, Holly and I got some burgers the other day, right? And I cut Holly. What were they? What was the animal that we ate? It was weird. I've never seen this in a supermarket. I think it was antelope or something. I mean, how weird is that? Antelope burgers. And there was another one.
Antelope burgers.
Antelope burgers. Yeah, I can't remember where. I think it's like. Can't remember where we got them from. But I've had some strange burgers in the past. I mean, in the past, Iceland, in fact,
they did
at one point.
Were they deer? See what I said?
Very funny. No, they were a bit horny though. Well, horny. Antelope, they've got horns, right? I can get away with that. Kangaroo.
I like that
kangaroo. One. Guilty. I've eaten a crocodile. Don't advise it. They're horrible. They don't taste too nice. Ostrich. I've had one of those.
Really?
Yeah.
I've had octopus.
Burgers. Yeah.
I haven't had octopus burgers, but I've had octopus in Greece. Yeah, they're very nice actually. Yeah, a bit like cat food. Smells a bit funny, But swordfish, I like swordfish. That's Greece as well. Very nice, very tasty.
Oh, seriously?
But,
did they give you the sword bit? Is there like a?
Oh no, it looks
gift set.
Nah, it looks like salmon actually. It probably is salmon.
Well, swordfish steak's fantastic.
Yeah,
I just feel a bit
nice.
guilty because such a magnificent creature, really. But
Yeah.
anyway, you've got to catch them anyway because you won't be able to make any swords, would you? So
Precisely.
The sword industry needs them. So
and also
important.
Greek apples are very nice. Bloody great big slices they are. Huge. Because you heard about the House of Commons joke.
Put the mic back. It's
Is that? Hang on a minute. I'll adjust my mic. Talk between yourselves. I think the bleeding thing's reset itself again, little bastard. It keeps doing this. So just.
Eric is using the little bastard microphone from Sony.
Is that like some kind of little bastards from Sony?
Yes.
That's what it is. Hang on a minute.
I don't want people accusing us of not being xenophobic. We want as much xenophobia as we can get, apart from which you get to say the word xenophobic every few minutes, which is wonderful.
Yes. That sounds a bit strange. Here we go. Hang on a minute. Bleeding things pop back. Here we go. How's that? That's better, isn't it?
You're very loud now.
Absolutely,
you're very close on the
absolutely.
mic. Just a bit hot.
Teeny.
How's that? Is that better? Or does it sound a little bit better there?
Yes, you're now speaking as if you work at the BBC. That's very good, Eric. Thank you.
And a bleeding thing resets itself after I've been on Rumble. I don't know why. Little bastard. It always does it every week.
How does it reset itself? I mean, isn't it just a plug and play and hope for the best? I mean, that's. I mean, my microphone's just inbuilt, so I'm special.
No, it's a bit poncy, That's why I have to keep resetting it.
Oh.
But
DJ be simpler to just plug it and play,
no, it's not like that. It's called bleeding settings in it, Yeah, but isn't that right, Paul? We've got all different settings. This is DJ B2. Yes. Are there other uses for lampposts apart from hanging flags on? Yes. Yes. And here we go. We got Asperger's as fudge. I'm a lady. Oh, you really?
Well, I don't believe that. I mean, Asperger's as fudge. I mean, that's totally a bloke's name, right?
It is. A lady wouldn't choose something so tawdry. And
I'm not entirely sure I believe that. I mean,
maybe he's Scottish and he's actually to be read. I'm a laddie.
Oh, laddie.
Oh, okay.
I'm a laddie.
All right, that works.
Yes.
It's not the sort of handle that a lady would choose, is it? Really? They wouldn't choose something.
No.
Scotsman goes into a public toilet, and he puts his
toilets again. Go on.
And, in the days when you put a penny, you put a little penny in this, and you put a penny in the slot. Ages.
It's gone again.
What's wrong with him? What's wrong? So what happens is they get in through the lock, they open the door, and there's this Scotsman laid out with a note on him. It says, "Here I lie, broken-hearted, paid a penny and only farted." Sorry, it's a terrible one, isn't it?
Actually, I was on a coach the other day, and genuinely, a guy in a kilt and all the tartan was on the coach.
Oh, bloody hell!
It's like proper everything. Sporum is that like fully kitted out. I mean, what the hell he was on the coach?
A sales rep came in to the office I was in once, dressed in his full tartan outfit, and to interview. He was not interviewed. A female architect. He came in to see a female architect, you say, and she was sitting in. She said afterwards, "Why do I always get all the nutters?" But one bloke went over to him and said, "Excuse me, do you know Danny LaRue?" And everybody just collapsed.
I don't. You've lost me on that one.
Well, Danny LaRue was a female impersonator. Down Mother Kelly's doorstep. Yeah, sorry. But anyway, the lampposts are now 5G
relay emitters.
That's right. Yes, Gee whiz. Now where are we? Was surely really?
I've done that one.
Hang on, let's go to the bottom, shall we, and come backwards. So here we go. We got. Says here. Well, all the women seem to have left. That's David.
Well, and that reminds me. All come back, don't they?
Yes. And it says here, Eric has turned into Norman Collier. Yes. Yes. He used to do
I like Mark
an act.
Anthony's. I like his symbol. Is that the one you were on about earlier, Paul?
Which
The
symbol?
white dragon. Is like his little moniker thing. You know,
I don't know. Who are we talking about now?
Mark Anthony. Or Mark Anthony.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Logo.
That's the one. It's cool, Mark Anthony. Yeah, so you can get a flag 5 foot by 3 foot with that dragon filling most of it on a red background. It's the oldest flag we know of that's Anglo-Saxon. So it's one of the very first flags of England. So we have a white dragon, the Welsh have the red dragon, and the Scots have porridge, I think. No, I forgot what the Scots have. Don't they have lions or something? I can't remember now.
It's lines, isn't it? Red and yellow. It's like red lines on a yellow.
Yeah,
yellow
it might be.
background.
Yeah, something like that.
Might be a thistle, though. Isn't it a thistle? It
Mm,
was. That's their emblem,
I
isn't it?
don't think so.
Oh, Asperger's and fudge. I'm a bloke, really. Oh, well, there we go.
well, that's more like it.
Yes,
Oh.
and that's life, but not as we know it. It's a haggis. It might be the haggis shooting season yet. Now, evening all, Daisy, day for Izzy, 44. Evening all, did the Scotsman have a skiandu?
I have no idea what that
skiandu?
is.
What is a skiandu?
He had a couple of
Yeah.
quarter pounders. Whilst we were talking about burgers, I know he had a couple of quarter pounders up his kilt. You know.
I've never eaten haggis. Anybody here eaten it? I've never eaten it.
How about it?
Sorry, I'm
Okay,
looking
just
at the Scottish flag. It's a red line on a like yellow backdrop with a red border and a load of fleur de lis around it.
A
for
red
some reason.
lion.
Yeah,
They've got a red lion. A red lion. So red lion for Scotland, red dragon
Yeah.
for Wales, white dragon for England. I wonder what the Irish have got. Don't they have a lyre? You know, that harp. Isn't that their thing?
Yeah.
It's all cool. I like it. It's
Well,
great.
yeah, it's better than all the bog standard, tricolor colours. There's like 3 boring colours because it's the bankers make them once they've had their revolutions.
Mm-hmm. They're not going to like the fucking flag, are they? They're not going to like that up 'em, Captain Mannering. They won't like that up 'em, I'm
They
telling
like
you.
it up. And it said, a baby with a laser said,
There you go.
Tesco sold ostrich a few years ago, sort of.
Yeah, I've had an ostrich burger as well. They're quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoever. Right. So somebody asked about haggis. Daisy, she served us like a vegetarian haggis a while back, and you know what? I've never had a like meat haggis, but the vegetarian one, I was quite happy to eat that, and it was actually really, really nice.
Oh, hang on. A knife down his sock.
You've got to be careful how you say that, right?
Yes. That's
Uh,
it.
I don't know. He seemed to be fully kitted out, but I don't know whether there was a knife down there. Didn't want to look too much.
Well,
It
I'm
might
sorry.
look a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Out of all the national costumes, I think the kilt is about the worst. It just
I don't
looks
know.
weird.
I kind of always
right.
wanted to wear one. But being a Sassenach, I think they'd go crazy if a Sassenach wore a kilt.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the whole thing. It's all to do with tribe. I love the idea of tartan, tribal tartan. I think it's brilliant. I absolutely love it.
Yep.
And do you know it's
Yeah.
invented by the Dutch? Seriously.
What was tartan was?
Yeah. And
No,
When
I've got an alternative to that. I've heard, and I might be wrong. This is just what I've heard down the graveyard, like the graveyard, not the graveyard. That'd be weird.
No, the graveyard's cool. It's better than I'm really interested. I like the idea of you going to graveyards and loads of blokes
Tales from
going
the
there and
Crypt.
sharing tales. That's fantastic. See you down the graveyard then tomorrow morning. Yeah, you bet.
Nice,
Great.
nice.
Sorry.
That works. I have no idea what I was going to say though.
Sorry.
The irony is, I live in between 2 graveyards for about the next month, and then I'm out of here. So yeah, literally, there's a graveyard at either side of the estate. So
really?
So
yeah,
can we
it's
call
all fun
you?
here.
Can we call you Nathan Two Graveyards from now on? Then that's got to be your handle.
Not
Nathan
really.
Two Graveyards.
I still prefer.
You could be the
propaganda
Fockham Hall
minister.
Minister of Death. That's what you could be.
Can I have
Yeah.
2 titles? Because I actually like that. The Fockham Hall Minister of Death. Oh, God,
Yeah, it's
that
the
sounds
MOD,
great.
the Minister of Death.
Oh,
there
That's
you go.
clever.
Oh.
That is bloody clever. That I like.
yeah,
that.
it is.
Yeah. And you've got a
that
black
really-
shirt on as well, and you turn the lights down, and your eyes are glowing in the dark. It's all coming together,
Nice.
Nathan, really quickly. This is cool.
Well,
Now-
I've got a cloak as well. You know, I've got that big satanic right. I shouldn't have said.
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
you're getting carried away now.
No, fine.
Where is the Minister of Death? Oh, he's
me.
down
By the
there
way,
in his
that's me
room, and
in
he's
the
dressed in a
outfit.
cloak.
That's
Yeah.
me.
That's it. That's it. There it is. See, and
I know.
now I can back this up as being true because I used to work with a Scottish bloke. I hasten to add he didn't wear a kilt, but he told me this as well. So I know this is true.
Yeah.
This is what happened when he was a kid. Fun fact: Scottish crofters used to have a porridge drawer. This is true. They'd pour it into they pour it into a drawer and leave it to dry. Then they'd slice it and take it out, crossing whatever that is. Yes, I worked with a Scottish chap who told me that. That's what his family used to do. They used to pour it into a drawer and slice it up and have slices of porridge in the morning. So there we go.
Don't like
See, not
porridge.
and haggis.
You don't
can buy
like it?
haggis. No, you can buy haggis in Tesco's. They sell it in a Tesco's. Seriously,
Good.
it's about £3, and you boil it, and very nice. Yes. And did you know haggis is banned in some parts of America and Canada?
Is there a
Banned?
reason for that?
Yes. Yes, I think it's certain parts of the animal they're not allowed to sell. We can sell it, but they can't. Sort of parts of offal they don't because it's all
They've got
offal.
some
isn't it?
really strange laws, haven't there? I mean, again, this is all moral relativism in overdrive. But I mean, some of the laws around the world, they're nuts. You know, it's crazy. Is that a religious thing? Is it an American thing? I mean, the idea of eating something out of a sheep's stomach isn't exactly appealing. I mean, let's be honest.
No. Well, it is part of the sheep's stomach you eat. But Baby the Laser said this is quite correct because the late great what's his name? I can't remember his name now. He looked this up and he was half Scottish. 18th century invention is tartan. It only became a thing then. That's right, for tourism.
So, from what I understand, so again, take this with a pinch of salt. I don't know whether it's true or false. It's
Robert
just something I
Newman.
was told.
Sorry, it was Robert
Well,
Newman found out. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk
I have
over
no
you.
idea. I've been told that the Romans brought tartan. I'm not convinced it's true, but apparently then the other version is that tartan's not Scottish. It comes from Ireland originally. So you know, if anyone can kind of shed some light on that. The bagpipes as well. Apparently that's a Roman invention.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
I think it's
Again,
even older than that. I think the bagpipes are even older than that. They're mentioned in Daniel chapter 3, the story of Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, where they're all called together. Whenever you hear the music of the harp, sackbut, flute, psaltery, what a lovely name that is. I don't know what a psaltery is, but you can look them up. But yeah, the bagpipes are all round the rim of the Mediterranean. So there's parts of Spain, southwestern Spain, they've got their own type of bagpipe. It's smaller than the Scots bagpipe. The Irish have a sort of bagpipe. Then there's that other fantastic instrument that works like a bagpipe. It's got the most haunting sound. I absolutely love it, and I can't remember the name of it. I actually play a track.
Catherine Tickle.
Say that again.
Catherine Tickle plays the English bagpipes, and that's under her arm. She plays it differently, and it's very small. And
it's a higher register. It's a higher.
Right.
It all operates in a higher key. It doesn't. It does have the drone in the background, which I love. My mum hated bagpipes, but I just loved them the minute I heard them. I just think they're awesome. I absolutely love them. And when you're listening to them, you're listening, I would suggest, to the same sort of sound, if stories be true, that took down the walls of Jericho. That's the sound. It was the battle sound of the Israelite armies. They all had horns and things. You needed them.
The Highland Regiment, I think on D-Day, had a piper piping them into battle, and the Germans didn't shoot the piper because I thought he was mental. Seriously, that is true. They felt sorry for him. They thought he was a mental case. Going, there's all these bullets, choing, ting, pong, going on.
Hans, look, silly Scotsman.
Silly sod. My uncle used to play the bagpipes, but not using bagpipes. He improvised. He got a cat. Chewed his tail.
Cat.
Yes. That was the Luton bagpipes.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, in that instance, then it would have been nuts, wouldn't it? I mean, marching into battle with
yeah.
Okay.
There's a picture of him. You can see a picture of him as he's, I think it's posed. But there he is, wading through the water with his bagpipe. And now this
It's
is
just the Scots showing off, isn't it? They're marching into battle, going, "Wait, we're not going to get beaten by these bastards. We're going to take our bagpipes. They'll never shoot us." Right, and
Yeah.
they'll be getting there, and they'll just be stood there. Why is nobody shooting? Hey,
But
there
a
you
lot
go.
of English were in the Highland Regiment because they were drafted into it. Like my uncle, after the war, he was drafted into the Highland Regiment and he had to wear a kilt. And before he went out, this is 100% true, he had to walk over a mirror to see that he wasn't wearing underwear. They all had to. And the sergeant major was such a nice boy. He really was. And no,
Wow.
that is serious. And they weren't allowed to go upstairs on a bus. That was against the regulations. And there's a picture of my uncle. He was a musician, you see, and he used to play the drums. And he was going through Edinburgh once, and a bloody dog wouldn't leave him alone. Dogs used to follow him, and it was actually made the newspapers. He was walking along, and this dog just all round him all the time, just wouldn't leave him.
Is that something to do with? Oh, hang on, losing my voice. Knick knack, paddywhack, give a dog a bone. There you go.
Could be, yeah.
It's got to come from somewhere.
Daisy 44 says Scotsmen don't wear undercrackers. Be free, we ye. Yes, that's true. Yes.
Oh, they get awfully chilly. I'm not going to finish that sentence.
Yes. Well, my uncle said it was very, very warm to kill, even though it's bleeding freezing up there, because you got loads and loads of layers of wool. But that is a Victorian invention. The true Scottish kilt was a great big long load of wool that you wrap round you, and you had to wrap it in a proper way. The one that we see now is a Victorian invention with a what do you call it? With a little purse at the front. That is
it sporran? Is it sporran?
Sporran. Yes. So, but yes.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
What's that?
Sorry, I'm losing my voice or something. The oldest tartan dating back to 3000 BC found in China. Oh God, the Chinese made it all. Oh my God.
No.
I mean,
the oldest tartan,
that's
really?
times, right? Aye.
In China.
Oh.
Now, Baby with a Laser said the haggis came from Rome, and snails and apples prior to that. There wasn't any over here. And did you know where champagne was originally invented and came from?
Yeah, you told us last week.
Yeah, Cornwall. And now, oh yes, Jojo Gizmo says Catherine Tickle plays the Northumbrian pipes. Well, yeah, to me they're English, aren't they? Northumbria. The Irish wear kilts too, do they? That's interesting. And did you know some South African regiments wear kilts as well? And they might be Zulus.
Chris, just as an aside, is there any reason we're going for the Illuminati symbolism on your camera there? I mean, we've got some. I mean, you seem to be like half off and half on. I just wondered if it was like I send them a message to get them all triggered and shit.
That's right. That's my camera.
It was just a curious thing, because somebody will inevitably point out.
I just knocked the shit out of it before we came live, you see.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason why. Yes. And talking about, what do you call it? Haggis. Yes, it's lung and heart. I don't think they're allowed to sell any lung and heart in Canada or in America. So there we go. So,
I mean, it does sound a bit off-putting. I mean,
yes.
Would you like a plate of lung and heart? No, you're all right, I'll pass.
And I like this one. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you then. That's life, but not as we know it. A lot of Scots now play the crack pipes now. And now, should I read this out? I might get lynched.
No, read it out. You've been inclusive, mate.
Hereditary Skepful. The Scottish are allowed to be transvestites. Well, that's a bit queer, isn't it?
Do we have a theme? Just out of curiosity, do we have a theme for tonight's show? Have we got anything to go on, or are we just being?
Yes, Illogical Logic, and there's a scene on the front of what's his name? I wrote this down. Heath Robinson. Now, Heath Robinson, for those of you of a continental nature or outside jolly old England, was an illustrator who used to do illustrations of the most impractical machines you could ever wish possible for a laugh. And the one for this show was done during the First World War for a laugh, and used to make people laugh with his and that's where the saying comes. It's a Heath Robinson layout.
They're wonderful drawings. They're wonderful.
He was a genius, that man. Absolutely fantastic. And Mark Antony said, "You wouldn't want a dose of the Welshes wearing a kilt." I don't know. It'd be a bit easier, wouldn't it?
I'm saying nothing.
Yes.
I have one. Keep telling everyone that I don't have any biases or discrimination against anyone. I hate everyone equally, right? So, but there is one exception to that. There's one exception, and I'm not going to voice it on here because then I'll be like, you don't like the what? Strange. Anyway, moving on swiftly. I mean, they're strange. They're very interesting, aren't they? You know what I'm on about.
Yes. Well, Finlay Wilson makes kilts look good. Who's Finlay Wilson when he's out? Don't know.
Who knows?
Don't know. Oh, well, I'm pleased to hear that. So not many people know that. Yes. But no, it sort of, I mean, I saw a bloke walking down Oxford Street once wearing a kilt and hobnail boots, and that really did look funny.
Oh, he's off.
But no, it's no, as a national dress, and apparently they wear them in Germany as well.
What, kilts?
Yeah, I saw, because I have carnivals every year in southern Germany, and I saw a southern German carnival, and I thought it was the Highland Division marching along. And it wasn't. It was loads of Germans all playing in the bagpipes, and you thought they were Scottish. They weren't. They were German.
Well,
they were dressed in green.
Battlefield years back.
Yeah.
Weird, maybe picked them up and reused them. Sustainability.
You never know. Sort of. My granddad got that. It's very interesting,
I think that was more Bond villain than Scotsman there. I'm not sure. I mean, okay, we've got 007 there, so just be careful because they'll have you at the end.
Well, we've insulted most of the world. Is there any country we left out? We haven't insulted yet.
We've never insulted the Welsh. I was never.
What about the
world.
They need a good tongue lashing.
Yes. We'll have to get what's her name? From Canada, Monica Schaefer on, because her dad.
I don't think she's my best friend. It's I may have upset her.
Really? What, we said something upset her?
Well, I might not agree with her views entirely.
Well, nor do I.
No, she seems all right.
Oh, by the way, talking about views, before we came on air, someone, as last night we was talking about Star Trek.
Yes.
And someone said wants to do a Star Trek show with me.
Star Trek show.
Star Trek show. Do you remember that great Star Trek record? Do you remember?
Star Trekking is worse than that. Is dead. Jim is dead. Jim.
Do you remember this record?
Yes.
Do you remember this one?
Yep.
It's the best record never made.
Star Trekking across the universe. On the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, there goes your copyright strike.
Yes, never mind.
Yeah, thanks for that.
It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. He's dead, Jim. Yes. But as I said last night, why does all the
life,
actors...
Jim, but not as we know it. Not as we know it. Yeah. It's lovely. It's a lovely song. It's the most interesting thing to ever come out of Star Trek. I hated Star Trek.
Wow, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? What about Leonard Nimoy? He did a song about hobbits or something. Bilbo Baggins. It's the strangest thing you'll ever see. It's just like he's singing a song about Bilbo.
Yes, that's a bit odd.
It's a bit odd. You've got to watch it to quite believe it. And it is a bit interesting.
Actually, I was captivated by Star Trek when I was a kid in the 60s, and then as it sort of went on for years and years, it got really irritating, and then the films were beyond irritating and so tedious and boring and sanctimonious and stupid. And then the more you looked into it and saw that it was basically just a way of the United Nations putting their guff across, I knew why I didn't like it that much. It's just naff, really. It really is nerdy and naff. It's horrible. It's like Doctor Who.
Well,
Doctor Who used to be good.
It's not quite that bad. Come on, Doctor
Who is just atrocious, really. It's an atrocious load of junk. Totally artificial nonsense. Yeah.
But last time I saw, well, I can't stand Doctor Who, but I knew someone that did, and they said there was a lesbian on there last time. What's that got to do with Doctor Who? I don't know. But
Hello, Wayne.
Hello, mate.
Friend of mine there. Yeah, funnily enough, yeah, we've discussed this. Sorry, Wayne's a friend of mine. It's good to see you on, mate. Yeah, he told me earlier that basically they'd cancelled Star Trek on the second series.
Yeah.
But because it was that bad, nobody liked it. So but for some reason it came back for a third series. But he's so Wayne's a Trekkie. He knows all about that stuff. So
well,
I'm
this is
sorry
what
to
I'm
hear
trying to
that,
get
Wayne.
on because I want to pick two opposite sides on the show, and where we can show that we can have a polite discussion without people raising their voice and that, and each person puts because I think
Where's
it's
the
a
fun
psyop.
in that?
Well, I think it's a psyop, quite honestly.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, it's a load of
Absolutely.
bullshit. Yeah.
Oh, the
we
whole
have to
world's
get all
going to come
shouty.
together and explore things, and it's all going to be great. Yeah, right. What a lot of junk.
Yeah. And
It's gay.
yes, and I'm afraid, Spock, you're suffering from overacting. No, I'm not. Yes, I'm afraid you are. Your acting is so bad, it's over the top. It's worse than that, Jim. I can't even read the bloody lines properly. So,
I was going to say, I think it was Kirk that was the massive overactor. He liked to rip his shirt a lot, didn't he?
yeah.
Just, yeah.
And apparently, he likes to have the cameras put on him all the time. To sort of get the
Look at me. I'm Captain Kirk.
yes.
Yeah.
But why is all the places they landed on had fantastic? All the planets they landed on had gravity. Why couldn't they have a place where they were sort of bouncing around and sort of
Well, they didn't know how to recreate visually the lack of gravity back then. Their budget was much smaller, wasn't it? But there we go. Yeah.
Well, you'll get all the flat earthers telling you it's fake anyway. So
Well,
there's
my
no
dad.
such thing as space. There's no such thing as gravity. There's no such thing as common sense. I mean, sorry.
That's right.
All right, rant finished.
Baby with a Laser said every time Doctor Who came on or Star Trek came on TV, my dad would lower his newspaper and say, "Get that shit off. Never watch them." And my dad, although he never swore, he said similar but without swearing. He said, "This is what a load of old." He called it sewage from China. Far-fetched.
Wow. Okay.
He said it's just.
Oh, I like the sound of your dad. I like it's the key bit there in that description is the lowering of the newspaper. Everybody knew what that meant when newspapers used to be delivered. Dad would lower the newspaper and look
that the
out. His
raising
sort
of
of
the eyebrow
stern
as well?
countenance would loom out. Turn that off.
And Mum would
Love it.
always put the vacuum cleaner on and go in front of the screen and clean the carpet 1,000 times. And then
Nice.
decide
Very
to,
dirty carpet.
when you're actually trying to watch a program, you'll be doing this all the time, trying to watch it. She did it. I think she did it deliberately,
I
actually.
was going to say, it sounds quite deliberate, that, Chris. It sounds
Yeah, it was.
very.
Yes. Well, I must tell you the time, and I've never forgotten it, when there's a show on, a program, a documentary about Bigfoot. And I was looking forward to this for ages. I was really looking forward to this. I think it's when I was at school, documentary about Bigfoot, something I was interested in. And my dad and mother, my mum and dad loved electronic organs. I hate electronic organs with a passion. And my dad brought home electronic album LP with a picture of. They always had the same sort of pictures on. People going, or this sort of, a holiday
Yeah,
with
I remember those as well.
Higginbotham. Anyway, and
Cringe
I thought,
festival.
oh no, yes. And what they said came first. They must listen to that record straight away. It can't wait. What you wanted was a second value. We need to listen to that record. And it was half an hour, I think. And I thought, So I accidentally clicked the speed over to 45 instead of 33, you see. So it went straight through the first side. And then my dad said, oh, yes, they had these strange names for the electronic organs. There's a Super Wow, Leslie Speaker. Oh, what a marvellous player. Look. I mean, the speed he's playing, and I'm thinking, I'll get away with it. It's pretty good. And then don't worry, Dad, I'll flip it over to the second side. I flipped it over. second sign is going. My mum started to say, sounds very fast, doesn't it? And said, oh no, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's 10 minutes to go. I think we're going to crack it. And then he noticed, and we had to hear it all over again. And I missed the show.
Times.
And, I've never forgot, I went back to school and I said, oh, they're all talking about it. Do you see it? No. And I've tried to look that show up on YouTube and it's not there. And I've missed it. And I think I switched it on when there was that's it. I actually missed the whole show. It was the news that came on afterwards. So, I never saw that because we had to listen to this bleeding organ music. And it's always the same sound. They say, listen, this is a harpsichord. And this is a piano. It's all electronic shit. It's terrible.
That sounds more like Bhangra music. That you've just done like Bhangra music twice there. I mean, just can I pull a comment up here that this is an interesting one. Arsburgers as fudge, because why not? That name, it's great. 853.
Right, hang on a minute.
I can read it. So yeah, he's just asked a question there. So there, talking of flat Earth, am I right thinking that John Hamer, or you spelled Hammer, isn't one now? So right, I don't know if he is or he isn't. So the last time I spoke to him, he was kind of more leaning towards the idea that the Earth is bigger than we're told. Obviously, I mean, he's gone off the UN. Oh bollocks! I forgot to send that. So never mind. I've just reminded me of an email that I received 3 months ago that I've not replied to. Bollocks. Anyway, my bad. So yeah, he's got this UN globe which shows like loads more land masses beyond the ice wall. So obviously, with his latest book, I think he's kind of maybe. Can I say tilting in that direction? Is that a little bit too global?
Yes.
There we go. We go. So it's 23 and a half.
He's tilting like the axis of the Earth, is he?
There you go.
He's tilting a bit.
Yeah, he's tilting on his axis. I don't know, mate. And the answer to that is I think he's perhaps considering other options. That's the best I can answer that because obviously, I don't really speak for John, but I think he's open to a lot of different possibilities. Let's go for that one. But yeah, I mean,
does it really matter? Does it really? I mean, my thing has been the amount of time that's been spent on it. I can't see the point myself. I think some of the questions are fantastic that the flat Earth people ask. I love the questions. I'm not necessarily convinced by all the answers, but it does throw up a conundrum. Yeah. So I look at it and I go, well, I lack a high speed, high orbiting or high flying levitating UFO to check it out myself, and I can't trust any of the sources that are going to tell me what it's like, so forget it. It's right. I can't deal with it right now, and so what? Big deal. Is my life negatively impacted by this? Well, it's maybe, but there are other things that are negatively impacting it to a far, far greater degree, which are much more worthy of our attention at the moment, I think. So, but that's my take on it.
I'll remain neutral.
Can I answer that? Because sorry, mate, just with the flat Earth. So I'm convinced it's a psyop. I mean, there's not in my mind, and again, I'm not trying to offend anybody or but okay, it's divided the movement. It's made people look ridiculous. I mean, look again, that's not me. Some people do look ridiculous with some of their arguments, and again, that's not me picking on them. That's just the way it comes across sometimes. So it makes so-called truthers and conspiracy theorists, it makes us look like an easy target. It makes us look, if they band us all into that. I think the massive problem with the whole flat Earth debate is that it's misdirected us. It's taken us away from the important issues, which at the minute, to me, censorship, freedom, conviction, things like this. These are the important issues that we've got to fall back on. And it's managed to successfully rip the movement in half. You're right, it's not important. But then if you ask a flat earther, why is it important? They seem to think it's the most important subject ever because, if they'd lied it was about the shape of the Earth, then clearly... they've
been lying to us about everything else, but we already know that. We already know that they've been lying to us about everything else. So... Yeah. I just don't see I don't know what the benefit of it is. It might turn out to be massively intriguing, but at the moment, huge numbers of people are not going to be allowed to even witness the argument because they're going to be dead if we don't actually focus on the much more important stuff.
Spot right on. And I've been pissing a few people off on my Telegram channel. Yes, please join it. It's very friendly. My Telegram channel along the bottom here and down in the no, not in my crotch, but in the description area.
Yeah, don't go to where it's crotch. It could be terrible down there. I mean,
No.
Windy.
Yes, it's not nice. Yes, and I don't know. I think you've noticed it, Nathan. I've been saying about the truth groups have been infiltrated without them having to infiltrate it due to controlled opposition. And this thing with little Tommy trousers and
again, it's another misdirection.
But that's I think yeah, but he's telling us what we know. You know, he's saying it as it is. Oh, poor old Tommy. And
but is he saying it as it is, or is he putting it on? Is he putting his own personal tint on it, and then again misdirecting people's attentions away from where they ought to be? You know, and look, anything to do with Mr. Robinson, I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't become a part of it. I've got nothing. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't join that. I've seen too many people fall for his rhetoric, if you want to use that word, and it never leads anywhere. It never has any positive outcomes. Well, it doesn't stop the agenda rolling out. It doesn't. Come on. I mean, what
is marching going to do anything? And I feel sure that all these flags going everywhere is a psyop. Because there's people who can afford to buy a flag.
I think you're probably right, Eric. But as psyops go, it's the best one yet. It's the one I like the most.
Which one? Which one's that?
The flag one. I just like it. Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. It's a psyop. I go, great, do more then. Can I have a free flag? Because I don't think it's all that clear cut. What they're doing is they're tapping into genuine anger. Yeah. And then the idea, of course, it's that old thing. The best way to deal with the opposition is to lead it, right? Yeah. So their placemen are always dropped in. This still doesn't mean that you can't do good things with that. You just got to be aware of these things all the time. It's a bit like if we throw a meeting. Let's suppose we throw the Fockham Hall Festival. And in the middle of the farting competition or whatever, we discover that there are some agents. I mean, I think an opening address to any gathering should be, and we want to welcome all the people here who are actually embedded in the meeting and doing their reporting back. And we hope you have a good day too. You can't stop it. It's not possible to stop that. You can't even shame those people by, along the lines of how sad your little life is that you're actually willing to do this. Because there's a point, is there not, at which order followers just are so indoctrinated and need the pay packet at the end of the month so much. Yeah. History shows this repeatedly, that they will rat out their own people to retain their own position of security. This is just a dynamic, and everybody's vulnerable to this. We're all vulnerable to that. The idea is to try and not get into a position where you can be played. It's difficult, so you can't get involved. So if you can't how do you affect things? I don't. It's tricky. It's a bit of a conundrum when so many people are so easily swayed, almost instantly swayed by something. And coming back to what you were saying about splitting the truth movement up, I think this is part of it. People, it's as if they've got truth fatigue, and they should have by now.
That's a good
if we
one,
say it's the last 5 years, right?
That's a brilliant one. I'll write that one down.
Yeah.
They have. Because they don't know the next port of call, as it were, on the line of thinking is action.
Right.
And that implies responsibility and, much worse, a change of your day-to-day behavior. That's the biggie. In other words, the comfort of your life would have to be disturbed. And what people don't want to get to is considering that point because it's going to make them uncomfortable. People just will do anything at all to avoid discomfort and being put on the spot and having to make a decision and choose a path. But they've got to. I mean, that's just the way it goes. And the idea is everybody's just waiting. And so you get this sort of fear porn echo chamber that's been running for years now. I mean, it's exhausting. There's no need to spend any time looking at it, really. But you will. I'll spend some time each day just looking at certain things. But time is much better spent doing some research and really trying to figure out how you actually build something that would overthrow all this kind of stuff. And the other negative news is, unfortunately, we're in very good company because very few people throughout history ever have. It will probably come down to a small group coming up with some cunning thing. It might not even be cunning. It might be just so blatantly obvious. Some kind of a communications approach that becomes that they can't defend against. that they cannot defend against. And what's that thing about ideas? Ideas are the most powerful things going, particularly when they're running around in people's heads. But, it's like you were saying about the stand in the park movement. These things become saturated. It's like anything. We've all been there. You join a thing that's new. I don't care what. I've done this loads of times, and it's fine. It's not a criticism. It's just an observation. You join. It's an absolute blast. Things build up. New people join. It develops. Then it gets to a certain size, and suddenly it doesn't quite feel the same. It's as if the fizz has gone, and then you get people actually angling to be listened to more than others, a bit like us here, right? Or doing certain things. It's quite normal. It's quite natural. There's nothing weird that I'm describing. It's the way that we operate.
There is a certain amount of group dynamics that you just expect. I mean, it's going to run its course. But I mean, I absolutely agree with you. We've got a fatigue. But the thing is, if we don't do anything now, it's only going to get worse now, right? We all know what the agenda is. We all know who's behind. Well, we think we know who's behind it, but it's not stopping now. It's stepping up and it's speeding up. And I think it's very clever that they've managed to make us almost, tired of anything truthy. So now we're looking for something else. The problem with that is if people don't stand on conviction, we're going to lose everything.
You're right. You're spot on.
But again, going back to the things like Stand in the Park. Okay, they've run their course. They did what they were meant to do. They brought us together. But then we dissolved. We just dissipated. So now we need something else. It's like. It's almost like people will only stand up and on principle when they are directly threatened, and if you remove the direct threat to them personally, even though they can see what's going on everywhere, then they just stand down, stand back, and expect somebody else to take the reins, and that's not how this works.
Well, actually, I think there's three things in the motion, and I'm looking into this at the moment. I might write a book, I don't know. But there's three things. One is immaturity. Now, immaturity is brought about, I think, from the hippie generation, because what we have now is the children, people whose parents and grandparents were from the hippie generation. I'm not saying they're all the same, because everybody's different.
Second, can I just cut you off? Sorry, I want to just cut you off. Sorry, come back to that. But I think that it's almost like now the truth movement is the new hippie almost. It's almost like we've gone back into the manifestation, we've gone back into religion, we've gone back into high vibration and positivity and drugs. I mean, my God, the amount of drugs that are in use at the minute, it's off the charts. We can't afford to feed ourselves, but people can afford to go and get like Class A drugs. And okay, fine. I think we are the new hippie, almost.
Good point. Well, hippie movement, people say, it's the 60s with the CIA. But really, you can, in a funny sort of way, trace it back to the 1920s in Great Britain, because this country at that time was on the tipping point of a revolution, and they brought it back from a revolution by having this spiritual awakening, and all this sort of, and spiritualism became very, I'm not mocking spiritualism, don't get me wrong, but what happened is all the militant groups who are veterans from the First World War, and remember, you could buy until 1921, you could actually buy firearms over the counter like you can in some states in America today, very easily.
Not for much longer, I don't think. I think that they're going to sort that out.
No, 1921. Yeah. Well, yeah, but in 1921 they brought in the Firearms Act, and that stopped that, and we was really on the balance. So what did they do? We had this sort of spiritual awakening. There's going to be a spiritual awakening. Things are going to be good. It's going to go. What happened? Another bloody war in 20 years later. Yeah. But it worked so well. It diffused the situation so well that the CIA used similar techniques when they invented this hippie movement, which destroyed people's self-respect in many ways. Everything, everything sort of anything goes. And I think we've got part of that. Plus, we got shock. Now, shock is a word. Well, the Eskimos have, I don't know, was it 30 or 40 words for the snow? And it should be the same with shock, because there's all different kinds of shock. And, someone could clap their hands behind you. You go quite shocked. You're shocked for a few moments. But there's all different types. And what shock does, it often takes us back to our childhood. It makes us immature. And
Oh yeah, but it's putting you back in survival mode, isn't it? Almost. I mean,
right.
again, you mentioned about your childhood, but again, that's reverting you to a younger age, to a more primordial state of being. I mean, it's putting you in. I suppose the spiritual groups would say your lower chakras, which is fine. It's putting you in a lower vibration because you depressed and anxious and stuff. Okay, that all works, but yeah, it's basically it's putting you in fight or flight mode because you can't think straight. If you're set back into your R complex, then your instinct takes over as opposed to higher cognition. So I think that's what they've managed to successfully keep us in that for at least the last 50 years. I mean, the media has played a massive role in fear and keeping us in if you turn I can't stand the mainstream news. I won't watch it, full stop. But you see it when you're out and about and restaurants or wherever you go, and it's just constant bombardment of doom. But now look what we've done. We don't need that anymore because now we've got we've got our echo chambers bouncing at us. You've got your algorithms bouncing at you. You've just got a constant influx of doom. Well, I'm not surprised people have got fatigue. I'm not surprised people have stood down because they're now. It's just a constant attack on them, on their psyche, on their mental health, on their emotional well-being. They're just being battered constantly. It's understandable, but equally, it's not going to get better by not doing anything about it. And so Steve, Survival Steve, Six Blade in the chat, and I'm sure he'll back me up on this. We are relentlessly trying to get out there that okay, the message got out, great. I was a bit skeptical. I didn't think it would, but the message has got out. There's people now bringing these issues up just in mainstream circles and main conversations. It's getting out there. That's great. Keep that up. But unless you're prepared to now stand on your principles and do something about it and take action, well, what was the point in getting information out there? And yeah, I get it, fatigue, fine. I get fatigued. I've got to take sometimes a month off from all of this stuff and research. My backup is going into religion and just things that are not as heavy, things that I can just take a back seat and analyze different. Psychology is great as well, but eventually you've got to come back to this because this is the problem here and now.
I agree with you. But the other thing is this, what we get from school, our conditioning to look up to a leader, to have someone to take control. And this is what you find with the truth groups all the way through. They'll find someone that tells them what they want to hear, and they'll pass it on to them, someone else, and they'll pass it on to someone else. Not what an individual wants to say. That's going to say anything. No, it's someone that's like a celebrity. They said, "Oh yes, we should do this and should do that." Like Nigel Farage. Oh, good old Nigel. All he says is change. This is the change we need, and that's exactly what Obama said. It's all the political.
That's what all politicians do. It doesn't matter what politician it is or what country. The opposition's always going to tell you they stand for change. Well, all right, that's great, but change doesn't mean good things, doesn't it? Change it's like a mantra that
that's right.
Rabbiting out,
But
that doesn't mean good things.
But what they don't see is the wood from the trees. In that all governments are usury scammer puppets. They're there to make it look as if they're doing good to people while screwing everybody to pay the ever-inflating usury scam, which, if you don't stop it, will have the shirt off our backs.
Well, to be fair, mate, it already has. I mean, again, look, I will quite happily agree that usury is a problem. It's a massive problem. It's not the problem. And again, I think Steve, he seems to have disappeared. I think he'd back me up on this, absolutely. But it's going back to, okay, well, we can see what the problems are. All right, so what's the root cause of it all, right? Because it's all right looking at different problems and different solutions, and that's great. We need positivity. We need all these different solutions, but we need one unifying factor that we can all back, join up and just say, right, this is the one thing that connects everything. Do all your other solutions, absolutely. You need to raise your vibration and stuff. Yeah, because you can't really be productive if you're depressed. But come on, we need now to solve this.
You're
right. I'm going to say, Nathan,
that
usury is the number one problem.
I don't think it is. Right,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
I know. I've heard that you don't think it is. I've got that. Yeah. I understand why you're saying it.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying my view is that it is. I'll tell you why. First of all, it's extremely boring. It's very difficult to get people to listen to any discussion about it. Very, very difficult. Secondly, when you start talking about it, it has to some degree, go into details for people to try and get a brain, and they fall asleep. The challenge is immense from a communication.
The
next thing is this. The law, the thing that's affecting people today and tomorrow and recently is the tidal wave of ever-increasing bills and the complete lack of control over the economic state of your house, which extends to your nation. The simple truth of the matter is that, I mean, it's a combination of factors. The government are a symptom of usury. Why? Because they say things like you were just saying, that we're going to change things. They cannot, they do say that, but this is empty words. They can't change anything. It's actually, they are incapable.
Policies, though.
It's not even about policies. It's not even about that. The law, for example, and we can laugh about this, and we ought to some degree, but the culture that's in this place is such, it is, we can say technically that there are things that have been done over the last 120 years that have momentarily, for X number of years, utterly transformed the morale, economic well-being and prosperity of people in a nation with spectacular results. In every single case, it's when the users are put in a box, effectively, by one technique or another, and the economic power of the nation is first and foremost given to the people. The bounty, the fruit that comes off the tree goes to you and not to the intermediary market maker. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Now,
I get
for
that.
example...
I was just going to say, mate, it's not that I disagree with you at all about the usury. It is a problem. It's a massive problem. Effectively, what it's done is put everyone in a stranglehold, right? I mean, it's so again, it's not so much I'm disagreeing with you on this. I see there's a bigger problem that goes beyond that. But you know, getting out of an economic stranglehold. I mean, especially when all the people pulling the strings, nobody dare go against them, and even the ones that dare go against them,
that's right. You're absolutely right. There's a way through. I think there has to be a way through with this. There has to be. If we look at the modern era of economic ruin, it really springs out of Venice, right? Which is 500-600 years ago. It actually goes back even further than that. Yeah. And it comes from the way that the Venetian state under the Duke or the Doge managed taxes and basically used the people's tax base as a guarantee to private lenders that they would always get their interest cut. Yeah. And they've always put that class before the people. This is the theme over and over. It's what did for Caesar when he went back to Rome. He went, hang on, I've just kicked shit out of everywhere. I've sorted everything out. Rome's got 50,000 people sleeping in the streets. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll forgive all the debts. Next day, 50 guys turn up and stab him to death, right? That's the problem.
Exactly right.
That's the problem right there. That is the problem. There's a mafia gang, and they can't go around stabbing people to death in public all the time, although they're quite happy to do that if that's what it takes. But the problem is that they've been able to take that threat that they pose, and it's gone into the political class. The politicians do not have courage. They don't even know what it is. They can say it, but they don't know what it is. Because for them to have courage, they're going to have to literally go against the entire political establishment. If they do, they'll die. So that should tell us that if you are looking for a political solution to this, you're dense. You're beyond stupid. Because I've sat around here for 60 odd years, and no government in this nation has ever done shit for the people. Ever.
Spot on.
And they don't do it anywhere. This has been going on for decades. They cannot do it. They can promise, but when they get in, they'll get a tap on the collarbone, as it were, and go, "You're not doing that, mate." And people go, "Well, how can they do all this kind of stuff?" They can do it because they've enshrined it into law. We could be out of the shit in 3 to 5 years if a group of people got hold of all those people that control the city and put them in prison. Say, enough of this, right?
The odds of
that's what it's going to. That is absolutely what it's going to take. And until we do that, my point I'm coming to is this: we've got all these other problems that we're aware of, like energy and food and the buying of land. They're all an offshoot of that. If you don't fix this, every single other problem will return like creeping damp. You can't stop it. This is the problem, because the last 500 or 600 years have had more warfare, more death, more insistence on this stuff, more subtle enslavement than any other period. And that's the root of it. And, you know, the churches, bless their cotton little pathetic socks, they used to, up to about the 1300s, be really heavy on this. They were massively heavy. Now they don't say peekaboo to a goose. They say nothing. The Church of England invests in armaments companies. Sod them, right?
Well,
and people still got
their share, haven't they?
People are on autopilot. They go, oh, if we vote a really good group of, if Nigel Farage comes in, kiss my ass. It's just a joke. What can you do with people that still think this? I speak to people all the time. I was out on a walk yesterday. I spoke to a couple of people because I'm always wanting to know what they're thinking. They're going, well, Nigel Farage might save us. And I'm looking at them going, really? I said, don't you? I said, just stand back a bit. Forget about all the parties. Really, tell me when a government's ever done anything really good for you.
I've had this conversation with somebody recently. You know, just a stranger, that I got into a conversation with. It's like, oh, Farage will save us. Farage, no, Farage ain't going to do shit because he's still on the same bloody payroll. He's still pushing the same agendas. He
can't. He cannot.
Even if he had the best of intentions, again, the stranglehold is already there. The laws are already in place. You know, it's what's he going to do? You cannot fix a broken system using a broken system. As far as I'm concerned, it's broken beyond repair at this point.
Absolutely right. You can't do it. I mean, one thing anybody that got in could do, they'd only last for this one speech, is when they make their acceptance speech, they fire themselves at the same time. And the reason they fire themselves, they say, and I've said this with Eric, I've said it before, hi, thanks for voting for me on the trail. It's brilliant. We got in. Now we're resigning. And the reason is that all those promises that we made to you, we can't fulfill one of them. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's an institution here called the City of London, and they're going to tell us what to do. And I'm supposed to protect them by lying to you for the next 5 years about all these great things that we're going to do. And I can't do shit, right? So forget it. You get those guys. I'm standing down now. That would rock it. That would absolutely rock. People are going to be rocked, and then they cry. People will start crying. They become unhinged. Who did that?
David Icke. I can't remember.
Yeah, he wasn't the prime minister at the time, so it didn't count. But I know he.
Well, no, but I know. Okay, he wasn't the prime, but he was basically. I don't know which council it was. He was running for MP for, but anyway, I think it was early 2000s. He ran for local MP, and he was literally going on his campaign trail saying, "Don't vote for me. Just listen to me. Just I don't want you to vote. I don't want you to vote for anybody." And he kind of, that was his point as well. That even if he was to get voted in somehow, and he knew he wasn't going to, I suspect. No, it's not even the Green Party. This is after the Green Party. This he was running for himself. He was literally trying to tell people about the system being broken beyond resolve. But he was also discussing the idea that there's, again, usury, the financial systems, the banking system, the policies that are all being pushed in by the bankers, by the round table groups, all of this. I mean, it's a fantastic strategy. The only thing is, if somebody did do that, and it'd be great, it'd be wonderful. I mean, you'd have to have a hell of a punch behind you, but all they have to do is cut it off the air. They just cut it off and disappear it. And then you've lost your chance, and then they'll probably just put some excuse over it and say, "Oh well, he was a bit nuts, and we shouldn't have ran for office and blah blah blah." Do you know what I mean? It's
to do the great delusion. If you think about, say, America, right? The start of America, most people when it was formed, they didn't have the vote. They didn't give it to everyone. I was talking to someone the other day. I said, "Why should everybody have the vote?" They said, "Well, it's a democracy." I said, "But people don't even know what's going on."
Right.
Seriously, if I had a company and I'm doing things, they go, you see all those guys down the packing department who don't know what we're doing? Yeah, I'm going to let them run the company for a year.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, because it's fair. Because it's democracy, exactly. Right? Because it's right. Because we've got to have equality, mate, and all this other stuff. And then a year later, when the company's gone down the toilet, I go, well, at least everybody had a go. That's how this is run. And of course, you've got this massive indoctrination that's been taking place for ages and ages. Oh, we've all got an equal say. You don't. You don't even want one. I mean, I just think, if you're going to stand as a politician, you should sit an exam. And the public should see what your pass mark or fail mark was. And there should be exams to become a voter. You want to vote in this thing? Right? There's certain criteria you've got to meet. You can't let anybody vote. What are you on about? It's mad. They've just extended it down to 16-year-olds. Why? Because 16-year-olds don't pay any attention at all. So then they'll all go, oh, we're going to give you all free phones. They'll vote for stuff. The whole thing is insane. it's no one actually stands back and looks at the process. Forget about the parties. This guy's going to save us. That guy's bad. All this stuff. I mean, I get drawn into it as well because it's like Coronation Street for grown-ups. Actually, is it for infants? But it's not going to. It's never ever. It's designed as a distraction, and democracy is basically slow burn communism because it's producing.
Yeah.
You know, all the people that argue for equal opportunities are nuts. There's no such thing. It doesn't exist.
What is democracy? What is democracy? I mean, people think they've got a choice with democracy. No, you haven't. You're just voting for one dickhead or another dickhead to make all your decisions for you.
Use your
It's not a choice. It's giving somebody else the choice on your behalf. That's giving your power away, not empowering you. There is no democracy. Sorry, Chris. I want to get that out before it's, you know.
No, I'm sorry. I chimed in. I was wrong. Sorry about that.
No. Carry on.
But what I was going to say, if you were looking for a leader, as I've always said, look in the mirror. Because people are not prepared to take responsibility for themselves. That is the real.
I agree. You're right, but people are not going to do that, are they?
Right.
No.
I mean, we can sit down. All of us could sit down, write some sentences down about how people ought to be. Yeah. And I can look at it, and you'll be able to look at yours. And broadly speaking, we're going to be saying the same thing. We go, that'd be great, wouldn't it? Right. Okay. How do we get from there to here, from here to there? Seriously, it's the most immense problem. It's not like a really complicated problem. It's one of breaking people's behavioral habits, which is the most difficult thing ever. Right. Which is where I would chime in. Yeah, so we have to, I hate this as well because I'm impatient. I just go, can't we just sort it out next week? I'm literally, is that not running through your head all the time? I'm just going, oh, it's easy. We just get down there, fire all those buggers. They get locked up. Don't kill them or anything because we want to interrogate them later on. Nicely, mind, okay, and they'll get their life back, but they've done us a lot of harm, so they've got to be sort of taught a lesson. And, oh, hang on, just a minute. Loads of people are trying to shoot me. Oh, shit, I'm dead. That's what's going to happen if you go in. Because there's all these hidden vested interests who are absolutely loving sucking the blood out of us. That's literally what's going on. Yeah. Usually it's a blood-sucking enterprise.
They're on a circular. One props the other, props the other. It's like, you know, but because we don't know who's who. I mean, we might know what's going on, but I don't know who's who in the banking industry. I don't know who's who in the political sphere behind the scenes.
Do you know who the Prime Minister is?
Do you want to go out and have a drink with them? I don't. Bloody hell. Yeah.
But do you know who the real Prime Minister is of this country? Isn't Keir Starmer? Do you know who the real Prime Minister of this country is? It isn't Keir Starmer. It's the Director of the Bank of England. That's the real Prime Minister of this country. Keir Starmer can do jack shit unless he gets permission from him.
I think it goes beyond that. I mean, again, okay, policymakers are the ones that have all the money behind them that can buy people. Yeah, don't disagree with that at all. I mean, that's politics since the beginning. But
I think there's a similar dynamic here as well. Sorry, speak of you. I think there's a similar dynamic here with the flat Earth thing. Even if you knew what difference would it, in other words, let's suppose there are 28 guys, I'm just picking a number out of thin air, and gals that are running everything. They meet in Rome and then they meet in London. Oh, wait, we'll make it all exotic. And they fly around, they do all this crap, right? And they wear funny dresses and they eat children and they do all this stuff. Right. Now, even if you find them, right, what are you going to do? They are a symptom of the problem that lies with us. The thing is, we have to, it's so easy, but we have to become responsible and say, this is all our fault. Now, it's not true what I just said. It's not all our fault because lots of really evil, crappy things have been done to us. But if you take the stance, this is my fault, I'm responsible for all of this, and you can get, and then there comes the big test, can you get your next door neighbour to adopt the same attitude? There's the rub. That's an absolutely monstrous challenge. Why? Because your next door neighbour's watching football all the time. He drinks too much beer, or he thinks that Nigel Farage really is going to do it. And this is, Paul, what you're saying is a bit mad. And we can't have that. It'll upset these people. I'm going, okay, let's just endure this life that we're living at 5% of what we could do at best compared to going for the stars. I said, you know, that's the way I feel about it. That's why it's frustrating. It's enough. What's the phrase? It's enough to make us weep tears of blood. It really is. You just go, holy moly, it's just bloody obvious, isn't it? And so we have to re-establish the system that we used to live under, which is under God, which is a moral order. And we have to do that. And people say, have you got to bring God into it? I'm going, well, if you don't, some bloke's going to try and occupy that space. And the next thing you know, you've got an organised this, that and the other, and a bunch of henchmen, and they'll be telling you that they're doing it all in your best interest. 300 years go by and you're all slaves again. So you've got to go direct to source.
But then...
but inevitably, if you bring... Sorry, 2 seconds, mate. If you bring God into it, then inevitably you're going to get a priest that does the same thing as a politician. Which
no, you're not. I don't think you are. Priestless godliness. I don't. Why? I mean, I know that human beings
I
do
agree.
that.
We don't need priests for God. We don't. And in fact, I think as soon as you start putting a structure or some kind of organization behind God, then it becomes a religion, not a connection, not a spiritual movement. Not a true understanding. As soon as you start putting a hierarchy there, Can you just excuse me for 2 minutes? I'll stick my camera off. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Put your hands up. But we'll go through the chat. But
I mean, save some of the good comments for me. I'll be 2 minutes, mate.
Okay. Well, very quickly.
Is he going to?
Go for a wee.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Or it might be something else. Remember to keep the window open. Open the window afterwards, and because always like these Hollywood films where they have a bathroom next to their sort of posh suite, in a hotel, and it'd be great if Cary Grant sort of came out and said to the one of the leading lady, saying, "I wouldn't go in there, and I wouldn't go in there for the next 10 minutes if I was you."
I hope he doesn't leave it. He hasn't taken the microphone with him, has he? I hope he's not taking his microphone to the toilet. Oh, he did.
Oh dear. Yes. Well, let's tell him you took it to.
Sorry, I like to go from usury to toilet gags in one bound. It's really good, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. Now, let's do it. I've started a few of these off to get from. I'm terribly sorry if I've missed your comments, folks, in chat, because it's really lively tonight. So please excuse me. Don't take offence. You can take a gate if you want. Baby with a laser said, "Doctor Who, my arse. Alf Smith, my dad." That's right. And Aunt Sally, I don't know whether I should read this one out. Paul English, please play. Oh no, not Maria Prakatan from Clive James show on your Thursday show just for Chris. Oh, bloody hell! Yes, I remember
All
her.
right.
Do you remember Clive James with Maria Prakatan?
She's from Brazil, wasn't she? Was she from Brazil?
Yes,
or Venezuela or somewhere like that. She was. She had a lovely energy and a great smile and a voice that couldn't hold a note for more than a second. It was just all over the shop. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Yes, and played the electronic organ as well.
Oh yeah, genius.
Now we got here. What was it? Paul English. What was the name of your show covering real British history? Alan Wilson, Baron Blackett stuff. I can't remember that. You did do one, didn't you? I think.
Well, we come back to it quite regularly as a sort of theme. I think. I can't think of any particular one off.
Poor sods are dead now, aren't they? I think because I know
they are. But I think Alan Wilson had a good. He had a good innings. I think he made 90 odd. It's pretty impressive. I mean, but they did have it tough. I mean, they were basically the establishment don't like what they're talking about, which of course immediately attracts the likes of us to it, like moths to a flame, as it should. To be quite honest,
it should. Yes. And I think there's a lot of that. They were proper historians, as well I'm concerned. I totally agree. This is Aunt Sally with Paul with flat Earth stuff. Yes. What about BJB2? What about Fat Earth? Yeah, it could be fat. You never know. Now,
hello.
And BJB2 said the Earth's core is made of lard. Yes, the moon is made of cheese.
How right? So this is probably where I would slightly agree with flat earthers a little bit, right? So how we can apparently map, send frequencies into the Earth and to other planets and see what the core's made of and what the mantle's made of. I'm not overly convinced of that. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I'm not overly convinced that we can map, say, the internal structure of Saturn or it's stuff like that. Anyway, that's just
I think it's. I personally think that's bullshit as well.
Yeah, I'm not convinced.
Baby later said Eric's crush is like Australia. Everyone knows it's there, but no one wants to go there. I like that one. Yes.
I mean, that was a bit mean, wasn't it?
Nah, it's all right. I like it. Now, Wayne Burdett says Civil Contingencies Act is next step. That's what they want to implement. Excellent point there, Wayne. Excellent. Jojo Gizmo says they haven't got a photo of globe Earth from space. It's all photoshopped. There we go. Because I don't think they've got a
difficult one, because we know they do use. I mean, sometimes even use paintings for. It's like really. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how to answer. I know where he's coming from. There's a lot of CGI images. It's okay. Why not use real photographs? I don't know how to answer that.
The Irish are going into space, aren't they? They're going to land on the sun, and but they've cracked it because they're going to land at night.
I mean, that Irish thing, right? As a sort of, I think it's one of the most untrue things ever.
I 100% agree with you, because it was implemented in 1969.
I actually think it's the polar opposite. I know they've got their village characters that spend their life living in a whiskey bottle. I know that. Right? We know that they've got those people that you can't understand a word they say. I know they've got those too, right? But their sharp people are very sharp, and I rate them very highly. I like the Irish a lot, which is rich. Them probably hearing it coming from an Englishman, but I think, but it's true. I think all the people of these islands are just bloody great, apart from certain subsets that are in charge.
Lots of government moles everywhere. Wayne Burdett says in 2003, German government wanted to ban a political party, but they took it to court and found a third of high-ranking members were paid government assets.
Doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, that's as old as it gets as well, isn't it? I mean, they're always going to put their own people. It's like, the whole UKIP thing. It's like, Farage will save us, blah, blah, blah. All right, well, how do you explain that half the Conservative Party is now UKIP? I'm not being funny. All they're doing is transferring allegiance, but it's still going to be the same. I agree with you.
Dan MC says, I've heard of migrant fatigue. Yes. People are just sort of getting over, what's the name? Now, Wayne.
Yeah, but sorry, just 2 seconds. So sorry, Wayne. Again, if they fatigue you, I mean, that's one way of standing you down, isn't it? If somebody's exhausted, they're just going to stop doing whatever it is they're doing because they're going to be mentally exhausted. They're going to be physically exhausted. A bit like you at the minute, Chris. You might need to get.
Sorry, I was about early. No. Sorry, I'm just rude
myself. But I'm going to stick his comment on.
It says, read Spy Cops books. Undercover police actually got into relationships with activists. That's correct. In the 70s and 80s, they did it a lot. Sometimes even had children with them before disappearing. That's right. And Baby with a Laser said the hippie generation came out of Laurel Canyon. All the time.
Your microphone's gone a bit squiffy again, mate.
How's that? Is that better?
That's better. Yeah.
And now we've got he's back again. He's back. That's Survivor Steve. All the answers necessary for the fake truth movement to move on and obtain freedom are in the book Fake Awake. Yes, available from.
There you go. It's nice and it's good. I'm doing a re-edit. As soon as I can get moved.
There's a lot of pages there, Nathan. What's the page count on that?
Right. So this is where I get a bit of criticism. I'm going to explain why I did what I did. Right. So the page count is 439, I think.
Oh no, I'm impressed. I'm not moaning about it. I'm just wanted to know. That's great.
So effectively, what I had to do is because I self-published through Amazon, and in order for me to make at least some profit off the book sale, so I've got to basically consider print costs, and then on top of that, then Amazon take their cuts, and then I'm left with a royalty figure. I didn't want to sell that for 20 quid, so I've been forced into a 20 quid price tag because of the sheer volume of it. I wanted to get it out for about 12 quid. But obviously, if I did that, I'd get about £1 per copy, not even. So the only way that I could see around that is either do it into multiple volumes, and I thought, well, that may or may not work. The other thing was, well, if I reduce the text size and reduce the margins, then I can get more in. I can get the whole thing in there, and then people at least are getting their value for money. I mean, there has been some criticism about the text size. It's not that I disagree. It's just that I've tried to give it in one volume, which is so yeah. There's a lot of information in it. I mean, effectively, if that was at a regular text size for a lot of the books that are out there, that would be 3 times bigger. There's a lot in there. So,
yeah, we should. I mean, are you using print on demand then? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, from Amazon. Yeah, so it's effectively print on demand.
Right.
So, but again, it is going to get a re-edit. I'm thinking splitting it into 3 volumes. I can see how I would do it for 3. Plus, I've got Steve who's wrote me an extra chapter, and I've got 2 extra chapters of myself that I can put in there to justify a re-edit, and then obviously then people are going to get more content. They're going to get updated content, and hopefully they're going to get some updates, corrections, etc. But yeah, there's
right.
The thing is, but by the way, thanks Steve for giving our book a shout out. The thing is, there is solutions in there. People have said to me, well, there's no solutions. There are solutions all over the place. It's just the solutions in there that people don't want to hear it. And again, it's a very simple thing. You mentioned earlier about changing people's behaviors, and that's exactly what's necessary, because principles and morals are behavior, the way that people think. So when people say, oh, think open-minded and critically thinking and all of that, so the movement doesn't do that. It's got cognitive biases galore. It's got preferential worldviews. It falls into psyops. There's no critical thinking in the movement anymore. And the ones that are critically thinking, they've been doing this for 10 or 20 years, and they are now fatigued by trying to get the word out repeatedly, constantly. It's our job now to get the word out, but we've got to get past this whole thing. We have to open our minds, but think critically about everything. We've got to get past the mind traps. We've got to get past the cognitive biases. We've got to understand what the core problem is. The core problem is human behavior. The core problem is basic psychology, which is why we've got occultists on the other side. Bankers, they know their psychology. The technocrats, they know their psychology, right? There's a gray area between psychology and the occult, and they know it. And we don't, as a movement, we don't, because we shy away from it. We think it's a psyop, we think it's evil, blah, blah, blah. We fall for every trick in the book. The solution is to learn that stuff, to understand that stuff, to understand what they're doing, to understand how they're doing it, and then to stand on principle, right? Then we can change our behaviors. Then we can change our thought processes. Then we can start and get shit done. And then things like usury, you can take it down, because once you've got a certain percentage of the population that sees what's going on and that sees the problem, they're not going to put up with it. But now they've been trained to put up with it. We've got a hell of a task on our hands.
It's a difficult thing, because convenience is an extremely subtle and persuasive thing. And people will always take the more convenient route. It's human nature to do so, because then they can spend more time watching football or whatever they want to do, right? And I'm not knocking that. I'm just pointing it out. We're all like that.
I agree.
The other thing is that young people that get born, unfortunately, end up going into schools. And this is a big problem, because that's when the conditioning begins almost immediately. And so we have to create our own schools from scratch. There's so much that has to be done. The whole thing is basically arse about tit on every level. And people haven't really moaned as long as it put food on the table and you had a reasonably decent sense of living. And that was the case for a long period, right? I mean, the thing is, we can always look back on every generation prior to us and be hypercritical about what they didn't do. And you can bet your bottom dollar that people in 30 years' time are going to be looking back on this same thing with exactly the same. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? Bloody hell. Well, they all just sat. It's all right, them all moaning, but they didn't do stuff. The fact is that at times we're kind of clueless about things. The communication stuff's key. And another thing, in really simple terms, is I feel we need organised, structured businesses that are professional. I really think that. I think that we need places of work where we meet, where we do work 9 till 5, and you go, well, that's all structured, isn't it? Yeah, there's a reason for it. We get things done. If you've got deadlines and you have to achieve something by the end of March, you need to get it achieved by the end of March. And what that does is if you start working in a group that achieves things and gets things done on time, whatever it may be, and you start to do more and more of that stuff, that becomes extremely attractive to the broader population. They go, hey, look, some people have got their shit together. They're actually doing things. The quality of their products and their output is going up. And I include me in what I do. Sometimes I goof off in the shows and we have fun here. And it's like a pressure valve release, I think. It certainly is for me doing this stuff. And I couldn't function properly without it. But I'm also aware that I need to be running a publishing business with 600 books. They need to be selling 1,000 copies a month each and that kind of stuff. And we need hundreds of people working on this stuff. And we rock up and we go, yeah, we are the People's Consumer Pressure Group and we're fed up of consuming shit banking. Got it? And we're not having it anymore. And they look out, they go, there's 50,000 people out here. You go, yeah. And they're all smart and they're sharpened up. And it's going to take a few years to get that. But that's what it's going to take. Not politics, Consumer Pressure Group. We are, in terms of politics, the government is a service agency that is completely out of order. The service it provides is crap. It overcharges. It thieves from its customers. It's unaccountable. If you were to do what the government did, you would be locked up because it would lock you up because you're muscling in on its racket. So we have to find something much more human that everybody can bolt onto and say, look, don't waste your time with politicians. They can't do anything anyway. Maybe join this. Of course, you then go, yeah, but if you create a consumer pressure group, it's going to get infiltrated. Of course it is. And
well, yeah, but it's exactly. But at least you're forewarned about it. At least you're prepared for that, right? It's going to happen. All right, it's going to happen. So then build a contingency around it. Let's deal with reality instead of pipe dreams. I agree with what you said, but in line with that, self-respect's gone, work ethic's gone, conviction's gone. Purpose is gone. People have no purpose. I mean, if you look up and down the street as you're going past, what you're going to see, lowlifes, druggies, as I call them, chavs. You call them what you like. Purposeless, aimless people getting fat, getting lazy, drugs, committing crimes. When this is not the sign of a healthy society. Britain's not breaking; it's bust. It's done. It's broken. Right?
Do you know about? You're absolutely right. We were talking about AI the other day, and on the show I'm going to do this Thursday, I want to carry on talking about AI. And I also want to talk about Mouse Utopia. Are you familiar with Mouse Utopia?
Yeah, it's actually the opening part of my book. It's what I've opened
so
up with.
That's what we're living in. And my concern about AI is for thousands of years as people, we've progressed by the sweat of our own brow, really up until relatively recent times. There's always been a substantial section of the working population that had to go somewhere, get into a factory, work, physically use their muscles, do things. Of course, the amount that takes place has been reducing rapidly because of the advances in robots and technologies and automation and all this kind of stuff.
That's like you say, convenience plays into that as well, so massively.
It does. And what you're supposed to say to people, look, we've just invented this thing, like we've just invented the flying shuttle, in 1700 and odd, or whenever it was, in the mills, and now you don't have to do this really dangerous stuff in it. It just fires across and we can make cloth 5 times quicker. Bloody, no one's going to say no to that, right? We don't say no to anything where we can see that we're more productive. In fact, it's one of the most satisfying and brilliant things. You go, you engineers, cool. This is so cool. And it is. But we seem to have hit a point. I'm turning into like a neo-Luddite. I'm going, okay, is this going so fast now that people are becoming like the mice, unhinged? The purpose, the framing context for all of our lives used to involve all these little moments throughout the week. So although I've not had a proper 9 till 5 job since 1990, I've worked like that independently all my life. I just do it. So I don't miss that. I know some people can't do all that kind of stuff. But one of the really great things the only good thing about an office job or those things is Friday night, after work, going to the pub with your mates, talking about the week. That used to happen for years. It's fantastic. There's a sense of satisfaction. You're going, oh yeah, I cocked it up on Tuesday, but we got that client and we did it on Friday, and all this kind of stuff, right? You've got meaning in your life. You go, oh look, I'm part of this group of people, this team, and I'm contributing, and we're all moaning about the fact that we're not getting paid enough, but we've all got that, typical. And so-and-so was a twat to me last month, but we've corrected that and put it right, and now we're on really good terms. And all the drama that goes on with it, and they make it into TV shows. You're involved in a play in which you get to write a few lines. It's good. It's really good. And then you look, if you're a bloke, you're looking for a girl in your 20s and you might find one. Hopefully you do. And you've got all that covered. So there's always this, I know what I'm about to do with the next day. It might not be nice, but you've always got this sense of purpose. Now, what's occurring, it seems to me, this is all dissipating like it does in Mouse Utopia. Everything's laid on. People are now literally hypnotized by the blue screen phones. It's not what's on it. It's the fact it's blue screen. They got the dopamine hit, and it's shut
Well, they're
down.
entranced, aren't they?
They might read, and it's not their fault. What I'm saying is, although I talk sometimes as if all those people out there, why can't they just wake up? They're not gonna, because of the context, the shape of all these things coming at them. And so now we're being told, I mean, when they talk about AI, I just think I'm listening to lunatics. I'm going, why don't you ask if we actually even want this? You can all have 2 robots at home doing your cooking. Bugger off. I don't want that. I want a wife.
Well,
I want a wife that's going to argue back.
Right.
I want all that stuff. I want life. I want to engage. The purpose of life is not to have robots making all your stuff and it all being laid on. They think that the whole of it is about the physical universe. None of it's about the physical universe. This just happens to be the place that we're in, and you've got to wipe your bum. Sorry, Eric. And you've got to go and cook, and you've got to do those things. Otherwise, you get unwell, and it's not much fun. But that's not why we do it. We're doing this to fall in love. I'm not being silly. We're doing that to be in love with one another in a blokey way, not in a gay way.
No,
but
I
blokes
get
do
it.
that.
There's different types of love first and foremost, but going back to the Mouse Utopia, I want to build on what you just said there. So the idea of the Calhoun experiments was that basically they provide everything for the mice, right? They make it hence a utopia, right? It's like they're providing all the food, all the water. They're even providing easy access to the women, right? And so what happens?
No predators. No predators,
no
nothing.
threat, no purpose, right? So the whole point of this is there is no purpose, and so it becomes lethargic and as you said there, fatigued. And then what happens is about halfway through, they turn on each other. They become violent. They become, really base. They'll. I can't use that word on YouTube, but let's
the mothers
say,
killed their own offspring. That's how bad
as well as other things. And so what you'd get is sort of like the ones that they refer to as the beautiful mice, the beautiful ones. They would then start to think, right, well, I'm getting out of here. And so they would go to the outer parts, the perimeter of the enclosure. They would get as high as possible, and they'd be out there effectively incel mice, right? They'd get out and they'd be alone and they'd survive till the end, but they wouldn't procreate. There'd be no more. And eventually, these utopias, they turned on themselves, ripped themselves apart, and that was the end of it. The only way that John Calhoun basically fixed that was to stop the communist aspect of that, which was to basically not, make them work for their food, make it available, but make them work for it. Provide things that they had to work for. There'd be bedding there, but they had to go and figure it out and do stuff. And that's the only one that succeeded. And what are we in at the minute? It's exactly what you've said, and this is why I opened my book with the Mouse Utopia experiment, because you're absolutely bang on. This is what they've done. They're providing everything for us. They're providing us with convenience, with entertainment. They're stopping us thinking. They're stopping us doing. They're taking away our purpose, and they've done it very well. And at the end, what happens? Now you've got the MGTOW movement, you've got the Red Pill movement. So we'll go our own way. We're just going to go to the fringes of society. We're getting the hell out of here. No, you need to start figuring out how to build relationships with people, men and women. You need to get your purpose back. You need to start doing things together, building together, uniting, not separating, not getting the hell out of it because it's a little bit heated in the middle, because that ends in our extinction. And right at this very minute,
we're being utopiaed into oblivion. It's much more dangerous than fighting an enemy on a battlefield.
Right.
Because you're motivated and it's hardwired into us. Whether it's right or wrong is irrelevant. It's just history. It's just the way it is, right? And people go, we're going to change this. You won't change it because this thing about, if you don't want the shit kicking out of your country, have a strong defense, have a strong military. Yeah. Because when someone rocks up, they look at it, they go, fuck that. You'll never get picked on. But the minute it's like at school, if you're a weed, you get bullied. It's nature. It's awful. I'm not approving it. It's what happens. Happens with animals.
I was just going to say there, mate. So sometimes the weeds, they might need that in order to get stronger, in order to figure out how to do things.
To remove their weediness.
Right.
And we all have our moments of being weedy, don't we? We all have our moments where we just don't feel that strong enough for it all the time. You never know when it's going to hit you. You just get out of bed and you go, oh, fuck all this. I do. I just go, what am I doing? You know, you arsehole. You don't know what you're doing. And then next day you feel really confident about something and you don't know quite why.
Yeah. But how do you fix that?
Case.
You fix your psychology, you fix your behavioural patterns. If you okay, you might be weak. Okay, fix it, because otherwise it's you're going to get destroyed. I've been there. I've been the weak one. It's horrible. You feel powerless and helpless. And, Shane, what is it you say, Chris? A calm sea never makes a
never makes a good captain. Has never made a good captain. And also,
exactly that.
Some of the best boxers have the toughest sparring partners. And you just look at the 101st Airborne Division. They were put into the most horrendous situations. They're always surrounded, but they were a crack force. And if there was any problems, they get the 101st Airborne Division in, and bloody hell, they would certainly, because they had so much practice. They had to fight a rear guard action all the time. And, I don't want to sort of sound as if I'm blowing my own trumpet or anything, but I worked at a few places where we were all contract blokes, and they would only employ contract blokes because they would get, say, 3 or 4 projects under their belt in a year, where people would spend years on one project. So you became very experienced, very, very quick, and sometimes the phone would start ringing because people want you, because they want you for your experience. Why? Because you had it bloody tough, because you're always working on projects that are behind schedule, and you've got to do sort of, half hour and 10 minutes sort of thing.
Double the boss, isn't it?
That's right. And you've really got to get the work out, and you've got to do it. Yeah. And there used to be we used to say, you always know the contract blokes, they're the ones who get their head down working, and the permanent ones, they're the ones having a laugh going down the pub. And that's true. We would be getting our heads down and drafting the stuff out. But the thing is that I think
I think men need a mission in life. It's how you become a man.
Yeah.
And if you go along with someone else's in a big corporation, it's not for me. Let's put it that way. And it's difficult. The opportunities, the sort of like wriggle room to do that, they're disappearing. The computer tracking of everything means that there's no wriggle room left. And it must be by design, because it's like a pressure valve. Certain character types just can't tolerate it. Where are your poets going to come from? People go, poets, we don't need them. Yeah, we bloody do. We need everybody. That's where
the creativity's born, isn't it? I mean,
they're rare. They're rare. People are not going to be great dancers and all this kind of stuff. These strange little pockets of sort of cultural expression. You go, where's it? It's not going to come from anywhere. Everything's going to be coming out of AI-generated stuff, which is dead. It doesn't mean anything. And we were talking about this last week with Thomas, and he said, well, it's going to improve things. I said, I don't get it, mate. I don't really get it, because my soul knows. There's a part of you that knows. You just go, this is absolute crap. I mean, we're lacking really big, wonderful, challenging projects in this world. One of them that I think of a lot, for example, they're sticking all these stupid, pointless propeller crap things up everywhere, right? They're useless. How about let's do something really big? Why don't we reforest all the deserts?
Hey, man. I like that. Oh, you're speaking my language with that one. Right.
Let's do the lot. How much? Oh, we'll do 15,000 square miles in 50 years. What? How are we going to do that? Well, get thinking. We can do it, right? You want those people to be happy and stop moving around the world? Let's create the most productive food factory in the world. It can't be done. Of course it can. We can do anything, but no one's thinking those thoughts. They're thinking, how do I have a war with this? How do I get more money?
Yeah, they don't want to do that though. What good is that? Replenishing nature, making the earth healthy again. How can you profit from that? Actually, you can profit from that.
Money again. People have gone into the temple of Mammon, and they don't even realise they're in it.
That's right.
They've been sucked into the temple of Mammon, and they're going, oh well, I've got to get more than the other guy. You're going, yeah, mate. How happy are you? Oh, I never think about that. I'm too busy thinking about making money. I'm looking at your face, and you look ugly, and you look sick, and you could probably die from heart attack before you're 70 the way you're going. And this has happened to loads of people. It's true. isn't it? People are just obsessed with all this shit that they buy in their lives, and they're peddling all this crap. I need this. You don't. You need 3 pairs of trousers, 4 shirts, and 2 pairs of underpants, and that's stretching it a bit, right? If you're you don't need much,
for Chris there,
but you need good mates. You bloody need good mates. If you've got mates that you can have a laugh with, you are so rich. It's the richest thing in the world.
Look at the Victorian Edwardian period, one of the most creative times in history. And, of course, the 60s as well. But you look at, for example, decades. Now, the decade from 1960 to 1970. What an unbelievable change. Yeah, we know most of it was a psyop. But you look at women's fashions, for example, and men's fashions. 1960, women wear flared skirts and Then, 1970, they got mini skirts. Men have got beautifully tailored suits. Now, go back 10 years. What's changed in 10 years? Bugger all. Literally bugger all. Cars look the same. Aeroplanes look the same. Everything's the same. Now, you think
everybody dresses in tracksuits and sweatshirts and stuff like that, which are nice. I like sweatshirts.
But 20 years. Now, for example, you look at World War II, for example. Now, the Wright brothers, whether it was them the first ones to fly, I'm not getting into that argument, but to say 1903, they were flying in what looked like a bloody kite with little engines on it. From that to the Super Fortress in it's just over 40 years, 42 years. So from a kite that could just about hop to fly to a Super Fortress, and then the jet aircraft in 42 years. That's a phenomenal progressive jump, a phenomenal jump. Why
has it stopped? It stopped because of communism.
Yes.
Communism. Everything's got this equalization thing has killed off excellence in so many areas. It stops those pathways for it occurring.
Yeah.
You can see it as a disease. I mean, 40 years is not. It's as if those 40 years were much, much longer than the last 40 years because of what happened in them. You're absolutely right. It's not as if we need to. I mean, I can understand why the Victorians. It was a tough time. I mean, we tend to look at it was bloody tough if you were a peasant, right? It was unbelievably awful, right? So let's not get away from that. Yeah, but in terms of the galvanizing effect, you're going from horse and cart in 1500, right? And then suddenly someone goes, I've created a steam engine here, lads. Bloody hell, what's that? Right? I've got this, why don't we stick it on some rails and we've got train system? And everybody goes, there's so much to do. And you know what? The story that comes out of the news is that there's not much to do, as if it's not, there's tons to do. It's just that it's never spoken about. It's just not spoken about. All that's spoken about is all the problems we've got. The problem we've got are these people that create problems. They're called politicians who are put up to it by the usurers to keep everybody subdued so they can keep picking your pockets. I mean, it's probably more complicated than that, but we've got to keep it simple. Otherwise, it'll take us a week to just describe it all. It's never ending.
Yeah. But the thing is, the more complicated, sorry, 2 minutes, mate. The more complicated you make something, the more it puts people off. The more they look at it as a mountain instead of a little hill that you can.
But look at one thing, Lisa. Do you know what virtually eradicated the village idiot? Seriously, do you know what? Do you know what invention? And you'll be shocked at this. And people say, "Condoms." No. The invention of the bicycle. That almost eradicated the village idiot. The invention of the bicycle, and where mass production of bicycles, where the average man could afford them, cheap bicycles. That's what changed things. The safety bicycle, I hasten to add, not penny farthing. And the village idiots the scale went straight down because people went further and they met ladies further afield and they mated and because village idiots are due to inbreeding. There's less inbreeding because of the bicycle. They could go a long way. And that's it.
And I love bikes. That's curious.
That's why you ride a bike, isn't it, Eric?
That's right.
So hang on a minute. Are we calling Chris the village?
No, I didn't say anything.
I'm joking.
I said nothing. I've got a bike too. I know exactly what you mean.
But mind you, if you saw my saddle, I think that's enough to stop the population going.
Well, the whole thing with the news as well is to create the impression continually there are far too many people on the planet. Now, if you've ever seen those charts where you take the entire world's population and fit it into Texas, Texas is pretty big, by the way. It's bigger than Germany. It's about the size of Germany. Everybody's got like an acre, or a family of four's got an acre each or something. You've got tons of stuff. That's just Texas. Then go and look at the rest of the world, and you go, holy crap, that means the whole of Russia and Africa are empty. Yeah, empty. And Pakistan and China and India, they're all empty. So imagine the rest of the world completely empty and only Texas. Now tell me that there's too many people. I'm not arguing for colossal populations, but they use these arguments to say we can't do this and we can't do that. It's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. The amount of food... we have to get, there's a thing called the World Data Stats site, and you look at it and it does your head in, because you're going, oh my giddy aunt, there's so much productivity down here. The abundance that we could create, but we're not allowed to create it. Why? I suppose because they'd have huge numbers of people that they wouldn't be able to control, which is good in my book, but it's a problem for them because they're in the residual control business. Well, Dad did it. My family's been doing it for 2,000 years. I come from this bloodline. We're down here to control it all. No, you're not. We don't need you. We've grown up. We bugger off and leave us. It's like they won't stop us being kids. And it's so infuriating. And they treat you like idiot children. Oh, you can't make your own decisions up, mind. And I accept that some people can't. That's why I would suggest exams and things, or whatever you want, right? I'm not a big exam guy. I don't really sort of necessarily believe in them. But the idea of just letting everybody vote on everything, even people who haven't a clue about what the issues are, strikes me as being a recipe for disaster. Like I was saying, it's like putting the delivery driver in charge of, the multinational corporation for you. Well, he deserves to. Why? Well, he's a human being. Why can't he have a go?
What you're mentioning there, though, what we're dealing with effectively, Paul, is meritocracy as opposed to entitlements. I mean, it's like if you're going to make an important decision, then you should be in a position where that can be your responsibility, right?
Yeah. And wasn't that really the American dream? Isn't that a part of American culture that we envied here rightly, because we've been bolted down so tight because they've originated most of the human control systems here, because we had the Industrial Revolution first. So this nation hit the problems of crowd control, or at least our controllers did, earlier than everybody else. They understood how to... It's like I was saying, in 1858, the civil service in this country, running the empire, right, covering a third of the world, 16,000 people. That's it, 16,000 running the whole bloody world practically. Now it's 500,000 and they can't even run England except into the ground.
They couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery, could they?
Well, I don't know, because again, okay, the politicians aren't the ones making the decisions. I think we can all agree on that. But yeah, they are running us into the ground, but it's all deliberate. This is the bit that we're forgetting. All of this dismantling and breaking things and ridiculous laws and all of this. This is deliberate. This is a deliberate attack. This is an offensive against a population that's completely disarmed and clueless about what's going on. So it looks like it's erroneous, leadership or whatever. It's
but this country could make the Swiss look poor. And the thing is about population, where there's electricity, the population drops. It's a very weird thing. When they introduced electricity into where's that place in northern India where it used to flood up? Bangladesh. The population dropped. And the reason it dropped is because people became more educated, and women started to become more educated. And, of course, they wanted the goodies like freezers and televisions and things like that, and that cost money. And if you have children, you won't be able to afford to have the goodies. Did you know the population has dropped now? I think it used to be something like 5 children on average per woman in Bangladesh. It's now something like 1.5. And I think it's lower than many European nations. The population has absolutely dropped because of mass electricity. It's a very strange thing.
Well, it's because, one of the things is that they could read at night.
Yeah.
They could, just the electric light alone, certainly this happened in a lot of African villages, they've still got this as a residual culture because it goes back thousands, if not tens of thousands of years. Their culture has been, I'll have loads of children and I want loads of grandchildren because when I get old, there might be some of them left to look after me. It makes complete sense.
Yeah,
it's irrelevant what we think from a modern technocratic viewpoint. That's just complete junk. And this addiction to technical solutions is not good. It's gone way too far, in my view. So I am a neo-Luddite. I think there's got to be a balance between it. I'm not against technology, but a lot of it, I'm looking at it going, have you really thought this through about, do we really actually need this? You know, now you've got everybody going to the gym to get fit. You didn't need to in the past. You worked down a pit or you worked in a steelworks, you were made out of teak. You know, it's like, and I even think about football. If you go back, I hate to bring football into it, but if you go back to football, say 80 years, back to 1920s and stuff, or even before then, you've got all these games taking place up and down England on a Saturday, and guys they'd drink beer afterwards and all that kind of stuff, and they used to tackle each other, and it was not a game for fairies, let's put it that way, right? Nobody got broken legs. They're made out of iron. Yeah, because they're physical made them that. I'm not arguing for that, right? It's a tough life, right? But now they go to the gym, and now they've got all vain, and you got all these videos, everybody going, look at the size of my muscles. I'm going, you Burke, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's the point of that? And it's a desperation for loads of people to try and stand out, which is to do with this sort of social networking thing. You know, you're not going to meet all these people.
It's narcissism on steroids, isn't it? It's all look at me, 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 me. You know, it's all about me, but then nobody's getting together anyway. Well, that's not entirely true, but, you know, there's...
Yeah, but gym's a very modern invention. I mean, about 40 years ago, I don't think we had gyms, did we? I don't remember gyms.
I mean, well, they did
exist. They did exist, but they weren't that popular. They weren't revved up. They were like little sweat boxes, weren't they, with weights in and stuff. And certain athletes would use them as part of their secondary training. They were used,
But I mean, I often go walk past a gym if I go shopping, because it's about 40 minutes walk to an out-of-town shopping centre where I live.
Yeah,
and I see these bozos all running along on one of these holding and getting nowhere, and I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute, they've paid that money out to go to the gym, yet I'm getting it free. I'm just walking or I'm cycling, because short journeys in the summer I don't use the car because it kills a petrol engine to just drive a couple of miles, so I cycle or I walk. And you know, you see these people on these cycle machines going along. Well, I'm on a real cycle machine, sweating my guts out, you know, having a workout for about an hour on my bike. And I'm getting somewhere. I'm going somewhere in a very pleasant atmosphere. Sometimes I go into the woods and I'm cycling along in the woods. You know, it's fantastic. Why pay out to do that in a air-conditioned artificial environment when I can be in a natural environment with the sun and air? And I just don't understand.
It's about challenges, isn't it, to some degree as well? I mean, it's this, you know what you were saying, Eric, about, you know, calm seas never made a good captain, right? Ernest Hemingway, the novelist, the writer, okay?
Yeah.
Let me read you something out about him. During his life, Hemingway survived anthrax, malaria, skin cancer, pneumonia, and diabetes. He survived 2 plane crashes, a ruptured kidney, hepatitis, a ruptured spleen, and a fractured skull base. A crushed vertebrae, healed, and didn't even leave him paralyzed. Eventually, he committed suicide, but he wrote some amazing stuff, right? So that was a life that was driven by, you could say, a lot of adversity. Now, it's difficult to attract people to that. Do you want it really tough? No, thanks.
Maybe not with all of those defects.
No, that's quite a heavy one, but I picked it out particularly for that reason.
Yeah.
But the thing is that without those challenges and pushbacks, you don't develop as a human being. You need adversarial pressure. It's like there are times when you've got goals to do that you don't want to do. There's another time when you get out and there are goals that you want to do that you can't wait to do. And that's the most fantastic feeling, when you just can't wait to get on with that thing, to do it. It's not always like that, but when it happens, it's absolutely marvelous. We need this sort of stuff. And I keep thinking as well, instead of opposing the system, this is another sort of thought, which is a natural thing for us to want to do, but it's completely pointless. The more you resist it, the more it becomes entrenched in your life. It really does. It's a bit like judo. It's like the more you push back, it's going to push. You can't push it over. The wall's going to sort of do you in. We're involved in a story here, a narrative that's woven by the mainstream media and all the other sort of talking heads that are basically like, tape recorders on autoplay, just spitting it out because they all want to get their money to pay their mortgage. This is part of it. It's like a sort of drone communication space, blah, 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 blah. And all of the sort of main news agencies are controlled by military industrial complex, and half of their guys are the head of news agencies, and no wonder we get the story that we do. Maybe a thing to think about is that we need to develop a phenomenally much more attractive and exciting story and start to tell that, like the story of how we're going to reforest all the deserts. Something that would capture the imagination of us as a people. I think we're bored, frankly.
Yeah.
I think we're bored.
Well, again, it goes back
and it's terrible. It's why we're listless and why we're like those mice. There's no purpose in things. You go,
right.
oh, that's done. That's done. I don't have to create anything else. It's all done. What do I do? Literally, it's getting like that.
I mean, in the 1920s. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Paul. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
But in the 1920s, we had sort of a chap called Fawcett who got lost in the Amazon. We still don't know what happened to him. These sort of chaps with pipes, pith helmets, shorts that would be flying over the what was it? Himalayas in the Andes in an aeroplane.
The Andes, wasn't it? Because it didn't he apparently found a civilization, and then he went back to the Royal Society, and they basically he had to fight for funding. In the end, I think he just took himself there with his son, and he went missing. It's like he was never heard of.
Yeah, they never found him. These people were explorers, and they always had pith helmets and pipes, and they're all jolly good chaps. And be standing on the Himalayas, still wearing shorts, pith helmet, and smoking a pipe. No, I'm slightly exaggerated there, but you know what I mean. It was all sort of exciting, and that excitement.
It was.
Yeah, but it drove them because it was something new, and it was exciting, and it was adventure, and it was uncovering. It was investigating the unknown. It was. All of these things are what drives people, right? But a lot of it now, we don't have to leave our seat in order to travel around the world. It's not the same, but there's the sense of wonder is gone, the sense of mystery's gone, the drive has gone, the passion's gone. I mean, they've done this. So, I mean, again, you're gonna have to forgive me for saying this, but I mean, they've done a wonderful job of doing it. The controllers, the social engineers, whatever you want to refer to them as, they've done a fantastic job of taking our very human sense of inquisitiveness and just dulling it.
I agree. Well, my dad was a fan of Amy Johnson. Now, Amy Johnson, she flew in a Tiger Moth or Gypsy Moth, I don't know which one it was, but it's a very small aeroplane, single-handedly from London to Australia. And a newspaper backed her, financed her. And my dad, when he was a kid, he followed her, in the newspapers, and they hyped it up a little bit. Apparently, she landed, and a load of cannibals came out, and but she was quite safe because it was as a missionary there, And they obviously hyped it up. But what a brave woman! Look at Amelia Earhart. They don't know what they think they found where she crashed or what happened to her. Because nobody knows what happened to Amelia Earhart. But these really brave people, that chap who Patrick is related to, what was his name, who flew across the Atlantic in the Spirit of St. Louis. What a brave man. Incredible. These people were absolutely fantastic. That's it, Lindbergh, because Patrick is related to him, isn't he?
Some connection, yeah.
Yeah. And, to fly single-handedly across that ocean, if he came down, he's dead. That's it. There's no ifs and buts about it.
But what do we do now, Eric? We've done it all. It's all done.
But is it all done? Because I think there's a lot more that can be done. I mean, for example, nobody is improved upon the invention of the safety bicycle. They should. Someone somewhere should come up with something that's an improvement. Because apparently a bicycle is not a very efficient machine. Seriously.
I think they should bring Concorde back.
I do. Yes.
Concorde was just epic, absolutely amazing. Yeah. And particularly as it was designed in the 1950s, like 70 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a 70-year-old design.
Yeah.
And it's just, it used to fly when I were courting in early 90s and stuff. It used to be I was in Putney a lot, over in Putney, often at the Half Moon pub where they had good bands on. And Sunday afternoon, about 4:00, Concorde would arrive at Heathrow, coming in from, I don't know where it'd come from. It was a European flight, I think. Anyway, you could hear it coming 20 minutes before you could see it because the noise of the thing.
I've seen
the noise pollution. So what? It's fantastic. It's great. Yeah. And you look at that thing and you look at jet engines and you're going, there's a big mystery about jet engines. Where they stick all that fuel in those thin wings. I'm serious. That thing,
I agree.
The fact that, like, I know it's a nerdy bloke thing, but the fact that the fuselage stretches 18 inches in supersonic flight, I'm going, how do you design that? What is this stretchable fuselage? It's going so long. How do you do that? I want programs on that. I want to know, this is brilliant. You know, how you deal with physical materials is our kind of thing. Engineering's a kind of English, is one of the sort of,
I love it.
I don't know what's happening to it. I
That's
don't know
right.
what's happening to it now. I'm not an engineer, but I'm in awe of it.
Yeah.
And I'm so impressed by it. You think of all these solutions to deal with this stuff. And it's as if, we got cars sorted out. Electric cars, of course, have got no soul. They're absolutely tedious beyond belief. They really are. They're dull. Why do I still love steam engines. There's something about its aliveness. It's as if a man's sweat went into building it. And you go, yeah, Bob Smith built that. And you go, that's Bob Smith on rails, that is. I just bloody love it. You know.
But again, it had character, didn't it? These things that were contrasting, they had character. They had, there was a sense of pride that went into these things. There was a purpose to it. Now it's just mass production and generic design and bang, bang, bang. Again, is this not all part of the wearing us down to make us lose our drive, our purpose?
Flair.
Yeah, we're like Lego men in a Lego world. It's horrible. It is horrible.
Speaking about Lego men, just a shameless plug. If anyone wants to buy £20,000 worth of Lego, I've got a shit ton and I need to get rid of it. Just thought I'd put that out there. It's all very good condition and there's tons of stuff. Anyway.
I know somebody that might actually be interested.
What's
Chris
that?
the Gardener. Chris the Gardener's into Lego.
Is he? Oh, okay. Well, I'm actually I'm not. It's not 20,000 quid. So I'm lying about the price tag. But there's at least 12,000 quid's worth of Lego in my cupboards, and I need rid of it. I'm a big boy now. I grew up, and
it's so expensive these days.
Yes.
God, mate, I can't shift it. I don't. People keep saying to me, list it separately, because I don't want to list it separately. I want it all gone. I want a wholesaler to just say, right, there's a price. Agree with me. I'll take it and resell it, and I'll take it off your hands. And I know it doesn't work that way because I've tried for the last 7 months to longer than that. But if anybody genuinely wants to buy a ton of Lego and help me out financially, my God, get in touch, because it's really good sets in there. Anyway, sorry, that's an aside.
And if you want the pornographic version, I think you've got the pornographic version, which is Lego over, isn't it? That's.
Yeah, but you need a passport for that now, Chris.
Yes. But I actually am old enough. Do you remember this, Paul? I used to have, before Lego, Better Builder, and Lego bought them over. Remember Better Builder?
I might do.
Lego. Yes, I built houses and all things like that. I mean, Queen Victoria was on the throne at the time, but that. But actually, do you want to hear some two Concorde jokes? Okay, when they were building Concorde, President de Gaulle was in power, and he had rather a large snout. And they said, yes, he supplied the conch and we supplied the ord. And the other one was two crows flying along. You see, and Concorde flies between them, and the feathers going all over the place. And one crow says to the other one, "Dad, your son, why can't I fly as fast as that?" "Well, son, if you had 4 arseholes and they're all alike, you would fly as fast as that."
All right, I'll give you that one. That's good.
But I agree
Stephen
with you,
Truthseeker says that he wants his own spaceship so he can leave.
Where would you go, though? I mean, where are you going to go?
Yeah, where are you going?
Don't get me wrong. It's not that I sympathise. Well, I don't sympathise. I empathise.
Can I
Sometimes
come?
I want to get off the planet.
Is there a party?
Where do we get our tickets?
What about anti-gravity cars? Or anti-gravity cars? I don't know, anti-gravity. Because I actually bought. I was bought in my at Christmas a future book. Remember, and you opened it up, and it shows you a family sitting round with a driverless car. That's coming true, sir. That's going to be nice, isn't it?
You know what? Wayne and I were discussing this. The last couple of weeks, especially. I mean, this is like less than 5 years away. We're driverless cars. They're easily less than 5 years away for that. And somebody's mentioned anti-gravity cars, flying cars. Look, we've had that much pre-programming in things like iRobot and Isaac Asimov and things like. Oh, right, it's everywhere. Flight. It wouldn't surprise me if less than 10 years' time we had that. And I think we might have the technology now to do that. Obviously, they don't want us traveling and stuff, so they're probably not going to give us it. But I think it's there. I think all the technology's there. And I think pretty much anything's possible once we put our minds to it. Unfortunately, like Paul's mentioned many times, it's all we tend to focus on the wrong stuff for the wrong reasons. If we could focus on making improvements, making life better and more joyful and more productive, and Can you imagine? I mean, we turn
Well,
Earth into a paradise. We could
we
still do
could.
that now. We
And
could
can
still
you
do that.
imagine? I mean, you look at a steam engine. I mean, I went to Suffolk to see the Bowler Hat Farmer, and they had a steam engine there, and it's something I love. Steam engines, I'm obsessed with them. And I said to, I think it's one of them there about this steam engine. I said, "Do you realise if we could get no fuel, supposing all the computers went down, and you couldn't get fuel, buses, cars, nothing would run. Okay, wouldn't you have electricity? You could still run that steam engine because it runs on local stuff. You can at a push put wood in it. You've got water. You've got a steam engine. It's spinning. You can produce your own electricity, and you can get from A to B on it. Bit slow, but you can get from A to B. These are the marvelous
traveling
things.
at 20 miles per hour anyway, Eric. You know, I'd say that's we could play along with that, couldn't we?
Well, they had steam cars at one time. That was a big thing. Car producers were looking at steam cars, and these things you'd switch on, and they take 30 seconds to warm up, and off you go. And they went at quite a speed as well. You know. Now, where are we now? Oh yes, Marlene says nothing wrong with gym for fitness. Yeah, fine for people who like them, but I just don't understand them. That's all.
Can I
fine,
pipe in on this
with
one?
them. Yes, certainly.
So yeah, I noticed that comment a while back. Okay, Mylene, I absolutely agree with you. And the reason I agree with you is because I've got my own equipment everywhere. I mean, half my room is a gym. No, there's nothing wrong with gym fitness. I think the point that Chris was trying to make is that it's people would rather pay money for the illusion of being fit. They would rather give their money away rather than buying a bike and doing stuff like that. But yeah, I do agree with you. I don't think there's anything wrong with gyms except for now you can't look at it because apparently it's illegal to even look at somebody pretty in a gym. Who knew?
Is it really?
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, you can't look. So I refuse to join a gym because you'd end up with a court case. Or I mean, a pretty girl walks past you. I'm not being funny. You're gonna look, but now it's like you're not allowed.
Really?
Oh God, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But what about me from the outside? Sort of with my face climbed up against the screen, going,
well, no, but that's what they're making people.
Nathan, is that really a law? Is that some kind of directive or something that you're not allowed to look?
No, this is the wonderful world of social media again, and so women deliberately joining gyms so that they can shame men for looking. I'm not being just hear me out on this one because I'm probably going to get attacked for this one, right? If a pretty girl or a pretty boy walks in front of you and they're working out at a gym, you're going to look. I'm not on about staring. I'm not on about being a perv or anything like that. You're going to look because that's human nature. We're supposed to be attracted to the opposite sex. We're supposed to be attracted. We can appreciate people, right? But now a lot of people are joining gyms cancelling their gym membership because they daren't bloody look at anything there anywhere because somebody's always got a camera on them. Why are people going into a gym with I'm getting irate at this one. Sorry. Why are they taking their mobile phones into a gym? Isn't it supposed to be about fitness and getting healthy, as opposed to shaming people for looking at you and making you feel better? Where's the shame in that? It's appalling, right? It's ridiculous that this is even a thing. It's not a law, but it wouldn't surprise me in this country if it was a law not to look at people. I mean, we've got a government that's tyrannical enough to bring that kind of shit in. Front page over.
You look at Catherine Deneuve when she was young, in the 60s and 70s. Bloody Nora! I mean, even now she's decrepit. She's not decrepit. She still is a stunningly looking, beautiful woman. And these women are beautiful. I love women. And
we're supposed to. Isn't this what perpetuates the species?
Yes,
Isn't this what brings us together and makes us happy? Have we gone off sex or something? Have we gone off marriage? Have we gone off, helping each other and feeling intimate with each other? Since when is that a bad thing? Sorry,
yeah.
I mean, this is a big
women,
deal now.
Is it something to be ashamed of? Yes, I do like women.
Exactly. So do I, and I'm not going to apologise for it.
I'm a bloke,
Yeah. Eric sought Nathan out. He seems to have joined the club. What's this?
What's this?
What is the fear of the unknown? The fear. I don't know what you mean by that one. You're gonna have to elaborate. I am getting a bit irate. I'll take a chill.
It's cool.
If you go into a gym and look at a woman, you get accused of being a pervert.
Yeah, exactly that. This is mate. You've got YouTube. Well, we're on YouTube, right? Just put in a search. gym shaming or something like that. You'll see it. There's tons and tons of stuff out there, and they do it deliberately. This is not about catching pervs. This is about deliberately getting yourself on camera and shaming people because that's why you join a gym these days. I'd prefer just then, I like your idea. If that's the case, if you're going to go to a gym to get shamed, get a bike, get some weights, and do it at home. Because I'm not. It's ridiculous that.
Well, I was looking at a load of birds the other day in the forest, and they were ducks going taking off. You see, so I'm a one with the birds.
Plenty of duck lips around. I mean, I'm pretty sure that women are trying to do that to
I don't want to shag a duck.
The lip fillers.
I don't want to have with a duck. Sorry.
No, is that like a fairground thing? I keep having to remind myself we're on the very platform that doesn't like us speaking our minds, so I keep pulling myself back from that.
I'll be straight. You do meet some very interesting people in push bike riding. I mean, I'm serious. I was going along this track, and there's a part where pedestrians allowed through, and you have to sort of take your bike around it. And there was an American girl there, and she said, "Hi." I said, "Oh, hello." It was really nice. She gave me a charming smile. Now, that doesn't mean to say I'm a perv because I gave her a charming smile. And she was very pretty. I was old enough to be her granddad, but very pretty. And it was quite nice to have a charming girl to say hi from America. And I was going to have a conversation. But
but remind me again, what harm did it do you, and what harm did it do her to be pleasant to each other and to it's not like you're attacking her, you're not doing anything
but she was pretty, a very pretty girl, and good luck, to her, and nice, very polite, very nice. Need more people like that, and maybe a nice smile, and as Spike Milligan said, smiles should be contagious. That we should spread them around the world, let them catch on. And it's just nice to be smiled at and pass the time of day. What's wrong with that? Nothing at all.
What would people prefer? Being grimaced at and shouted at and mocked? No, I'm not being funny, but that's not exactly a nice thing, is it? No, I'd much prefer a smile and a bit of pleasantry. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But now we don't do that in case we get accused of something. This is how insane we've got as a society. We're nuts. Do you want me to self-censor for the next 20 minutes so that I'm not ranting down there?
No, not at all.
Hang on, we got Paul Mohammed said, "Get to the point. People are stupid, and stupid always wins because stupid does what it does." And as Survival Steve was saying, was that Bon something, that German chap? That actually,
Dietrich Bonhoeffer.
That's it. Studied stupidity. It's had these laws of stupidity. People are stupid.
Apparently, it's difficult to define stupid. I've got a book over there called "Arguing with Idiots."
What's that effect? Like that. The Kruger-Dunning effect, or whatever it's called. You know that
Dunning-Kruger effect. Oh my God! That's look, that is a fantastic.
We're surrounded by it.
Know what that is? Do you want to explain to the chat just in case they're not aware of it? Because that is one of my favorite psychological studies.
Yeah, it's worth looking up. Dunning-Kruger effect. Kruger's spelled, I think, Kreuger. Dunning's Dunning. Two guys who got together. It was about, they were trying to figure out about how people assess themselves, and they found the Dunning-Kruger effect. You will know people that behave like this. You might be one of them. You may have behaved like this at certain moments. You massively overestimate your abilities, like enormously, like colossally overestimate them. You can't believe that anybody would not think you're almost a genius or something. So you end up, people that have got this, you're kind of surrounded by them, and they can't be wrong. It's just impossible. And you literally cannot get through to people who've got this kind of going on. So it's a massive overestimation of their abilities, and they're generally not able to do things, but they can't see it. They can't see it, and it's a terrifying thought. It's like having an organisation run by a bunch of really confident, outgoing, big-egoed arseholes.
Oh, politics.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. Now, you listen to me. I know what I'm talking about. You've never had what's that thing? 90% of all politicians currently have never had a proper job. They've never actually worked in a business. Right. They don't understand anything about what it takes to get stuff done by the end of the month deadline to make your books balance and all that. They just don't know. And it's like kids in a candy factory. Oh, we just spend some more money. I'll go and ask someone. I'm sure it'll all work out. And then they cry when they can't do things.
Well, yeah. I told you about that woman I worked with. There was I worked. There was a secretary. She was in her, I think, late 50s, but she was the living image of Germaine Greer. And people used to come up to her and ask for an autograph because they thought she was Germaine Greer. Absolutely spitting image of her. And one lunch out, the blokes were going up the boozer or somewhere, I don't know. But I was the only one in the office. And she said, Chris, called me over, and there was an architectural term she didn't understand. So I explained it to her. And we got into conversation. And she used to work in I think it's the House of Commons. And she told me that the MPs, and I mean, I think she was a civil servant, she retired when she was, I think, 50 or 55. No, it's 50, I think it is. And of course, she went freelance as a secretary after that. So she was freelance. And we got into a good conversation. And she said the MPs that she came up against had child minds. They'd throw tantrums. She said, you'd be shocked. And that was backed up several years later when I was listening to a late night radio. I used to do that. And an elderly lady phoned in and she said the same as this secretary. She said she used to be a secretary in the House of Commons, and she said, you'd be shocked at how their children, the MPs have got child minds. If you book a hotel that they think the opposition party's got a better one, they'll throw a tantrum going, yeah, because how we got into this, back into the office, there was a bloke, the head architect there, he worked, he was permanent, and he had time off because he was running to be a MP or something in politics, Conservative MP. And I saw him come out of his office once and throw a bit of a tantrum, and the secretary turned around and said, look, be quiet, and spoke to him just like a nanny would. Go into your office and calm down. And that's what I spoke to her about. I said, well, you know, I noticed you handled him very well. And I can't remember the exact term. And that's how we got into conversation about her job. And that's how she knew how to control this bloke. She said, yes, you've got to act like a nanny. And nanny did that.
Can I'll read out this full description of Dunning-Kruger because there's a bit I missed out and it's important. It says the Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias where people with low competence in a particular area overestimate their abilities, while highly competent people tend to underestimate their skills relative to others. This happens because unskilled individuals lack the metacognitive ability to recognize their own incompetence. They're so incompetent they can't see it, you know. It's like they're so stupid they don't recognize that they're stupid. The effect was described by psychologists. Yeah. So, and there's a couple of little things. These are worth reading out. Low competence. People who are unskilled in a domain are often unaware of the extent of their own ignorance. The very skills needed to perform a task well are also needed to evaluate competence, creating a blind spot. In contrast, experts may underestimate their own abilities because they simply assume that these tasks that are easy for them are also easy for others. I mean, it's a mess. I bet you reckon it's so good. It's brilliant. Yeah. It's an amazing observation because we've all been through that. You know, sometimes you're at a class at school, you go, that can't be the right answer. Everybody's getting it wrong. And you come out with it, you go, why didn't everybody else know that? Do you ever have that sort of experience? You know, you think someone's going to say it and no one says it. You go, well, it's this, isn't it? And they go, yeah. And you go, why did nobody else know that? They all come across so confident. They must know it, but they're not. They're blagging. It's called the art of the blag. It's very effective, though.
Did you see that experiment?
Can I add to this? So Chris, sorry, Chris, say what you were going to say, mate.
Well, very, very quickly, I was going to say they did an experiment once where they had, I think it was 5 people, and 4 of them went in on it, and they had to answer questions, and they deliberately got the answers wrong. They were really simple questions, and the 5th one, who wasn't in on what was going on, went along with the other 4 or 5 people because he didn't want to stick. He didn't want to stick his head on on the block, and that is the thing.
Wasn't it to do with like different sized lines and they were basically trying to convince them that there was the 2 lines they were the same size. They were trying to convince them that it wasn't because of it's a compliancy test, isn't it? It's I can't remember the name of the experiment. I should do.
I know, but the person wanted to be compliant, so they went along with it. And it's the same with that. Was it the Milgram one where
the Milgram experiment with the electric shocks?
Horrendous. And they went through with it. To the end.
But that all of them went through with it. I mean, maybe they didn't all, do the full extent of it, but they all went through to the end. They all did. But again, is this not a compliancy test? Is this not small scale of what they brought in now? But going back to Dunning-Kruger there, I mean, again, Paul, you sound as passionate as I am about this one. It's fantastic, and we do all do it. I've done this. You get it. So what if I'm going to be right? The truth movement again. Sorry. But
no, I'm so glad. I was just about to say that. Do it, because that's the first thing I was thinking of. Yeah, what we were talking about half an hour ago. Yeah, please.
Right. No, so this is one of the things that actually triggered me into writing my book, is because I noticed this very early on. So obviously you're mixing around with all these groups. What I saw is that you'd get a lot of people that get a tiny little bit of information, right? And then suddenly they knew everything about how the world worked. They knew everything about God. They knew everything about spirituality, right? Tiny little bit of information. Suddenly, in their minds, they are experts. They've done it now, or they've looked at it for 10 minutes, or they've watched the YouTube video, or a week later they come back, they know everything. When you start to challenge them on what they think they know, they get aggressive, they get defensive, they start fighting back. But when they're doing that, they're proving that actually they haven't got a clue what they're talking about. They've simply taken something that somebody else has said, taken it as gospel, and then they've got a rudimentary understanding of it without realizing that actually there's a hell of a lot more to it. Subjects are not always simple. There's a lot of complexity, and if you think that you can just go into something very quickly and then be an instant expert, then you are Dunning-Kruger, right? This is the whole point. The growth, the part. So if you're looking at this on a graph, right? So it goes up like this. So like confidence level is like that, right? Goes up, and then this is called the peak of Mount Stupid. So what happens is when people realize that the error, right? When people realize that they're wrong, when they've been challenged on it, right, this is what happens. They slump right back down to zero, right? They've embarrassed themselves. They realize their error of their ways. They realize how incompetent they are. The good bit is, after that, if they've got the drive and conviction to continue, then the growth curve then begins to. Then they do start to look into it. Then they look at the things they overlook. They start challenging themselves, their own beliefs, their own knowledge, and that's when the actual growth occurs. This is, and again, I know I attack the truth movement, and this is a human thing, but I've got a thing for the truth movement, because these are supposed to be our best of the best, right? We need these people to set the example, to lead the way, and unfortunately they're all fallen into cognitive biases and mind traps, and it's about as uncritical thinking as it's possible to get. It's as unopen-minded, right? And this is the problem. I'm not attacking for the sake of attacking. I'm trying to point things out to you, not to you, Paul, but to people who are reading the book or on podcasts, wherever. I'm trying to point out that until they understand how their mind works, right? Until they understand how reality works, you've got to get an objective hold of this shit, and realize that if you're going to get through this, if you want to educate yourself, it's not easy, right? It's complex. It's going to take time. It's time consuming. And if you suddenly want to skip ahead, it's going to be even more time consuming, because you've got to realize of all the errors and all the mistakes you've made, then slump back down to zero, and then start it all over again. We haven't got time for that. So the idea is, get your minds around mind traps, get your mind around critical thinking, get your mind around what it is to be actually open-minded, but not naive, right? And there's so many people that I've come across in truther groups. I'm desperate to say a few names here, because they've fallen for half the psyops that are out there, half the psyops I've written about in my book. These are the people that fall for the psyops, and then they accuse you of being negative. They accuse you of not being properly educated. Oh, you haven't done your research. Well, actually, I have. The only difference between me and you, mate, is I researched it. I actually went and did the bloody work. I looked into it. I challenged myself. I looked at the opposition. I'm ranting again, I know, right? But the thing is, guess what? Then you start to realize that you don't know everything, and then you start to learn stuff. Then you can put it into action. Then you can use it with conviction and passion, and then you can build on that, because you're never going to be an expert. This is so the other side of the Dunning-Kruger effect is those that have low confidence in their abilities, but tend to score higher marks or become more competent. It's because they know that there's always more to know. There's always a problem. They might be competent in their field, but they always know there's going to be a curveball in there, right? And they don't always know what that curveball is, but at least they're aware that they're going to come across one. This, sorry, I know I do get ranty, because I am passionate.
No, it's not ranty. It's really excellent stuff. It's absolutely
it's true.
This is that challenge. You know what I was saying earlier? Sorry. What I was saying earlier about that we are responsible for our situation.
Right.
This is the root of it. It's it's about consciousness, which is a glib thing when it's uttered by most people. When you really think about it, metacognition, as it were, it's a fancy word. It's the ability for you to think about how you think. It's not just your thoughts, not the content of your head, the context that you're giving yourself for why you're doing this, and go, hang on. And my little mantra, I've said it a few times, is my goal is to try and be less wrong today than I was yesterday.
I like that.
But tomorrow, I'm still going to be wrong. The only problem I've got, sir, in talking to you right now is what I've just said to you is there's some errors in it, but I can't tell you what they are because I haven't worked it out yet. But I know there's some in, because every day of my life, I keep looking at stuff and something comes along that causes me to adjust my thinking. And I go, I was slightly off with that. That's why I got confused about that bit. That's why that bit wasn't adding up. And it's the willingness to do that. And what you said is absolutely, this is hard work. Most people do not think. They just think they're thinking. What they're doing is they're regurgitating the recorded stuff that's been projected into their head. And what's occurred really with the truth movement, so I hate the phrase, but we know what we're talking about, is this. A whole bunch of people that never even thought about these issues suddenly started to think about these issues. This is good. But they're thinking about these issues now in the same way that they used to think about the previous stuff. They're not actually going into it to strip it down to see why they're at the effect of these things. Yeah. And it's to do with the way that you think about them. And when people are thinking, and when you're thinking, and when I'm thinking, I bet you it's hard. You've got this sort of funny look on your face. You know, the look that kids get where they're trying to work things out. You're going, and I go around. Sometimes I get so confused on my walks. I've got to stop. I need to just hum or sing a song because my brain just goes into mind lock. Yeah, I'm sort of spinning 15 gears at once trying to figure something out, going, and then I go, I'm really just too stupid to figure it out. And then the next thought that's been occurring, and I'm not even upset about this, I just go, hey, I'm not going to live long enough to work it all out. I'm not.
We can't work it all out, but we can do our best to understand what we can understand, right?
Yeah, so you look at the challenges that are before you, and I'm going, hey, this is the one that's right here in my space right now. This is obviously the one I've got to deal with. As opposed to thinking, well, I've got to really think about actually reforesting the deserts. Although you've got to have a big picture. I think you need sort of little goals. You need the ones that are going to hit you in the crutch, as it were, Eric. Like, oh God, my house is a mess. You got to deal with that, right? The stuff in your own backyard, which is the most important stuff. But then you're thinking, oh, this is a bit dreary. I need some really big goal. Like I really do need to build that levitating UFO and go to the moon and Mars and back. We got to do that on Friday when I meet up with Nathan and Eric. We've got to work that out and get on with that as well. But right now, I've got to make a cup of tea and clean the toilet. And life's like, it's hilarious, really. Yeah. It's really funny. And you've got to be prepared to be humiliated. Yeah, and the other thing I was going to say, last thing just on this is this.
Yeah.
As people are thinking about things and working it out, and you mentioned this about being right, and the mind survives by being right. This is why it's difficult for all of us, and people hate it when they get it wrong. We all hate it, right? But you're going to get it wrong, and the more you get it wrong, I wouldn't say it's ever any more pleasant, but you go, oh, there we go, you idiot. You've got to laugh at yourself. You've got to go, oh, you dork, you got it wrong again. I mean, I sometimes get so furious. I've made simple mistakes in doing something. I go, you twit, why didn't you see that at the beginning? Now I've got to do all this work again. Do you ever get like that? I've just done things like that.
Yeah.
But if you are not willing to be wrong, if you're not willing to be wrong, if you don't go into it and saying, there's a very good chance I might be wrong in here, you'll never come up with anything of value.
Yeah.
I 100% agree.
You can't.
The thing is, a lot of real learning occurs when you're wrong, right? That's when you do things wrong.
It does.
You make mistakes. That's when the learning curve goes up, because you're forced into a situation where you either learn or you remain stupid, right? Just one thing. Sorry, Chris. I know you want to say something there. When you said about metacognition, right? This. I mean, that's golden. Metacognition is the ability to change your perception, right? That has to start in here. You have to do that work. Nobody else is going to do that for you. They can point it out to you, but you've got to want to do that. You've got to be willing to get shit wrong. You've got to be willing to take the risk. You've got to be willing to challenge yourself. You've got to. Sometimes, it's nice to be wrong because good things can come out of that. But change your perception. Open your minds. Come on, people. Is this not the lesson? Change your perception. Start thinking critically. Start, to look at your behaviors, look at your own behaviors and say, all right, can this be improved? Because if you're not asking that question, can it be improved? Then there is no introspection there. You need to change this internally before you can start changing that externally, because otherwise you don't understand the problem. The problem is behavior. The problem is, psychology, understanding the world, understanding yourself. The Art of War. I mean, somebody mentioned this on a Rumble show yesterday. The Art of War. I've got a copy behind me. Go and get it. It's not a war book. It's not a strategy guide. It's a psychology book. It's teaching you.
It's an amazing book. It's amazingly valuable, and it's very succinct, and it causes you to think. And thinking is hard, and it's worth doing because it's the only place where, when you're doing it, you are 100% you. You're absolutely you. You are totally you at that moment. You all the other times, everything I say is like a mimic of a copy of something that I read that I thought was valuable, and I'm sharing with you, and likewise. But when you're actually quiet and alone and thinking stuff, you are in that moment totally connected with everything, and in your confused state, and you're basically saying, I don't know much, and I'm all right with that. But
it is okay. This is the thing you just said,
and it's cool.
Right. It's okay to not know. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay. Get everyone does it. It's just that the ones with a bit of humility tend to be the ones that learn a bit quicker. That's it. Well,
the person never made a mistake, never made anything. And I must
have made loads then, Eric.
Yeah. Well, I've got a task ahead of me. I'm planning to build a conservatory on the back of my house single-handedly. And do it from scratch. I'm not going to buy one off the peg. I'm going to actually make one from scratch. Now, it's going to take me about a year, maybe 18 months to do. It's a big job, but I prefer to do it myself because, that's the way I am. That's the way I'm built. And it'll be unique and very, very different. But what I was going to say is...
Can we have a photo record while you're doing it? I want updates. I'm serious. I want to see how you're getting on.
Well, you see my sheds as well. I've got quite
Eric
a few
Shed.
Shed. Oh, Eric Shed. Yes. And a greenhouse. I'd made my own greenhouse as well. Did that from scratch. All from scratch.
Yeah.
I don't buy them off the peg. And but I'm not sure I'll be able to do the extension this year. I think it's going to be spring offensive next year. Sort of start about April, May. I call it an offensive because it is like a war. But so it won't be this year so much. But what I was going to say, when you get into a group, you can't help it. And it seems to be a natural thing. You start to become hive-minded. And it's hive-minded, like, or the wolf pack. You sort of go along with what other people are saying without really thinking. And that seems to be a human thing. And I think we're all guilty of it to a lesser or greater or lesser extent. It's hive-minded.
I think you lose that the longer you've been in those situations. I think when you're young, you're right. Because you go into a new company or something and you're in your 20s and you don't know the lie of the land. And what your job is for your own survival is to get up to the level of everybody as quickly as possible. And there's this interesting dynamic. So when you've got the founders of a company, like a bloke with a desk and a pencil and a piece of paper and an idea as he's getting started on day one, and then he ropes someone in, and they might chug along for 3 years working their buns off to get it in shape. And they go through all this stuff and then they hire someone. And within a day, that person that comes in is at the work face at the level that they're at right there and then. They didn't have to go. It just, when you bolt people on, they come in right at their level because it's like osmosis. You just go, this is the culture. Got it, bang. Yep. And you need it to be like that. But the founders of things go through a sort of a challenge that's not known by many. Because you're literally, if you start something from scratch, it's an amazing thing, particularly in the early stages when you don't think you're even going to get it going. It's really amazing. The guy that taught me a lot about banking and stuff, he was just really interesting with so many other observations. I wish he was still alive. I'd love to interview him now, but he's not, unfortunately. He was an amazing guy. And he set up a bicycle business selling bikes when he was 16. And he was just brilliant at it. He had 3 bike shops by the time he was 18 and turning over all this money. And he'd run his accounts wrong and everything. And he had to sell the whole business for £1. Otherwise, he owed the taxman £500,000 or something. And all these some guys came in. He came out okay, but it was just really interesting. And I was doing a couple of things with him. And he said, golden rule, when you're starting something new, a new business, you never ever take resources from another business and put it into it for two reasons. First of all, you'll weaken the successful business, which has got its own energy around it. You let it go. You keep your eye on that, keep that over there. The new business, you need to know whether it really is viable or not. And you find that out by not supporting it with any crutches or anything. If the idea's flawed, you'll find out fast and hard, and you can stop. But if it's got legs, it will just naturally grow and go. You'll have hit a right area for whatever you're marketing or producing or manufacturing or anything. I thought this was really sound stuff. Now, in today's environment, people just go down to the bank, borrow £500,000 and get up to the neck in debt, and then no one cares anymore. So it's very difficult. But this is probably why businesses, I suspect, don't last as long. They don't have that rooted substance in them. And the idea of family concerns that are very old and long and enduring is really attractive to me. I love the idea of that. You know, this is a greengrocer's shop, and it's been in the family hands for 85 years. My grandfather had it, then he gave it to me dad. My dad just handed it over to me, and here's my son. You go, this is cool. This is great. I loved all that sort of stuff. That's gone, of course, but that sort of dynamic,
That's right. But I think everything is to do with frequency. And if you get people in who've got the right frequency, you will naturally bond with them. But if they've got an irregular frequency or the wrong frequency, you won't bond with them. Whatever happens, you just won't bond with them. I think this goes for groups and things like that. Now, with these truth groups, when there was a lockdown, people were in a similar frequency. But as that lifted, their frequencies changed. And the ones who were irregular, the frequency did not match with the rest of the group, they went. And I think that's throughout life, everything is frequency and timing and getting things right. And I do believe that. So that's awesome. Anyway, do you know what the time is? It's getting on for 11. We've been 3 hours.
Yeah, I know. It's almost time for the after show, isn't it, Paul?
It's been fantastic. It's been really fantastic tonight.
Well, sorry, Chris. I know. Sorry, I'm gonna. Can we, before we go, and can we just extend it a little bit? Can we read through some of the comments? And there's some going really far back. I've lost some good ones, and they're quite far back.
Well, when we were talking about usury, I mean, this is going way back. Where is it? Yeah. Marlene said, "Peace PEACE officers are good in supporting people, and in Hereford, there is a common law group." Yes, there's some I think around in Hertfordshire as well. But I like this idea of the Hells Angels. I think you know about that, Paul, don't you? These Survival Steve did, where these Hells Angels are acting like guardians, and these fellas, they're very moral. They're doing what men should do. And they said, if a woman feels threatened, she thinks she's going to be raped or is a child in danger, phone this number, and their very presence stops anything happening. Bloody great blokes.
Well, you mean what the police are supposed to do, but never do? They go around arresting innocents.
They don't start trouble. They just have a presence. So the children know they're safe, and the women know they're safe, because these blokes have got like I would say samurai type honour. A bit like the Seventh Samurai, you know. They've got this honour that they would not do anything. That everybody's perfectly safe with them, you know. But they're bloody tough guys, and you wouldn't mess with them. You certainly wouldn't. They know how to protect.
We've got people at so many different levels of abilities. When you think about it, it's like a big ladder, and some people are just on the first step, and some are several steps up. And I tend to feel that really your communication can only work with people on the next step above that you're seeking to go to and the step below. That's about it. And if they're many, many steps away, there will be that lack of bonding, because you're really at that moment in time of very little use to one another. There's not much you can do. The gap's too big. It's like saying, well, if I could take a 6-year-old and teach them calculus by next week, they can create rockets by the time they're 12. Yeah, but you can't do that. For most, there'll be a few exceptions. There'll be a few genius kids, right, which are the exception that proves the rule. But overall, you can't. It's not possible to do it. So I think in life we will be, as birds of a feather, attracted to one another for certain moments of your life. When you think about it, people have come in and gone out of your life like through a revolving door all the way through it. It's kind of a tragic thing, particularly when you think, oh, you're going to be my mates for life. But you find that the projects or the fields of interest that you shared for X number of years, suddenly that's not what it's about anymore. And it's not sensible to keep on then you go into sort of decrepit state if you maintain it, because you're basically supposed to keep on asking questions, and you never know how it works. You might not see people for 40 years. Like I had this with lots of people I grew up with, and I bumped into them last year. It was amazing. Everybody's done slightly different paths, and I'm keen to get back with them again and see what they've been doing with their lives. But it wouldn't have been appropriate to keep on stewing in the same pot for all that time. And I think, you even talking about bicycles and lack of the village idiot, these things keep changing the way that we think and operate. Technology has changed it. It will continue to do that. But what we're seeking to do, I guess, is safeguard the holy of the holies, our own individual quest to find out on our own terms as best as, and to seek help from those that want to give it, and to stay away from those that oppose us at any particular time. And it's just it's a phenomenal learning curve, and it's huge, and it's infinite, really. It just seems to me it has to be infinite,
It's an interesting world.
Just when you said about opposing there, I mean, but even that can, when people oppose you, I don't mind that necessarily, as long as they're not being, dickheads about it and being, differently insulting, or okay, if you want to oppose my view, fine, challenge me. I'm all right with that.
Remember those shows we did, and I want to key release on where we had a gentlemanly discussion, and I think there should be a ladies and gentlemanly discussion where there's two opposing views, but both respect each other's views, like we had flat earth and round earth. I think we had one on religion, didn't we? And that was very, very good.
I'm very, very up for doing a debate with Patrick, but at the minute I'm in the middle of moving, so I don't want to take on any kind of. I'm happy to do that. I'll keep it simple.
That would be great. The only trouble is that for me to be like the sort of the mod, shall we say the
arbiter.
That's right. My lack of knowledge of religion is really is piss poor. I mean, I've never read the Bible, so I mean, I'm really.
I can help with that a little bit in basically if you want me to like put Bible verses and cite, I can cite where I'm getting the information from. People can make their own. So that's fine. I mean,
I think I can be a moderator. I think I can be I think I can be neutral in that, And it's like with the flat Earth and round Earth. The person that goes first has a disadvantage. That's why I still remain neutral, but I was backing Paul because he had a disadvantage against yourself. So I tried to level it up, and I think that's how it should be in many ways. But
again, I thought it was a fair exchange. It was civil, and
Yes, that's right.
No issue. Yeah.
And now, Baby with a Laser said the face of usury is faceless, though. That's why we don't prioritise it. He's right. Baby with a Laser is correct. And
it's the great hidden thief.
Yes. In this modern system, people are considered mere numbers, and the goal of economic development or progress is the rate of gross national product. Here, the human being is separated from the system. I agree with you there. Yes, I agree with you.
So this is where we're on about being just statistics or cogs in a machine. This is where people start to feel as if they're not important, they don't matter. It's and a lot of I feel like that a lot of the time. It's understandable to feel like that.
Six Blade or Survival Steve said, eradicate usury, and then what? Will the entire government and its enforcement will still exist?
Yeah.
War will still continue, and society will still be enslaved. Very good point.
This is why
I think war's going to continue with or without these things.
I think a lot of the things would continue.
It's how do you as a tribe ensure that you don't get involved in them? You can't make decisions for other groups of people. It's not possible. Even that's a type of warfare. If I go over and say, look, I don't want you to declare war, and go, oh, you're waging war on my right to actually wage war. You see, there's no end to it. Yeah. So, and I just go back to this basic sort of thing, whether we like it or not, our history is littered with it. I think there's definitely been interference with it and a sort of amplification of it. I think many of these conflicts are absolutely bogus. But the example I think of is this. We create, let's suppose we make these islands massively productive along the lines that we know we could probably achieve if we were not being buggered about with so much. Yeah. And France doesn't. For some reason, France still has Macron, and they've all gone commie, and they're all going mad. And Macron's popularity is now fading fast. And he goes, bloody hell, what do we do? And they say, why can't we be like England? It's brilliant. And he's got a choice. He either changes everything, in which point he's probably going to lose leadership and control, which he don't want at all, or he goes, sod that, we'll go over and take their shit. That's really been the essence of it, right? Now, whether we agree with this scenario or not, that's what drives it. Behind every war, there's this acquisitive gene that says, I want their stuff, or they've got more stuff than me and they're making me look like an idiot in front of my own people, and I can't have that. This is no good. So we're going to have to go and take their stuff. And okay, so I didn't put enough money into agriculture, but I put loads into our military, and it's 5 times bigger than theirs. So let's just go take it. And this is so, but that's how it works. You remember, we're governed by children, right?
But that's why Britain had a huge navy and a small army. And it worked. Yeah. The First World War, our army was pathetically small, but our navy was massive. It could have blown the American navy out of the water. It's so big. I mean, it really was huge and the most advanced in the world.
I'm not advocating for this kind of scenario. I would prefer that it doesn't happen, but I see that it has a lot. It does. It's happening right now on the earth because of other people that we're not in control of who don't think along these lines, and we're not going to have enough time to affect their thinking to get them to stop. What we can do, it seems to me, for our own tribe, is we say, look, we're aware of this. We've looked out in the world. We're a country that's got a seasoned history and a great deep knowledge base about how tribes and other nations work and operate and what these think and drives are. And so to protect us, we're going to make sure that we don't have a massive army or a massive navy, but it's sufficient to defend these islands, and it's enough to put anybody off. We're not using it and if we do that, then we won't get, our own people will be protected from the maniacs that spring up regularly throughout history that get in charge of nations and take them to war. It happens. Yeah. It's just always I'd love to say that it never ever will. It shouldn't, but me saying it shouldn't, I suspect he's not going to make a shit bit of difference.
But this is cognitive bias again, isn't it? Sorry, not like this. Another mind trap. Just people seem to think that just because they don't like something, that it's no longer real. It's not an objective thing. Reality is reality, whether you like it or not. So it's not about what you like and what you don't like, or what you've got to look at something objectively and say, well, that is what it is. Let's see what we can do about it. Let's understand it. I mean, one of the things you just said there about people, one nation taking another nation's stuff because you're jealous or they feel as if they're being undermined or what. Just look at the way the ancient empires developed up in sort of like the Middle East and sort of Mesopotamia, places like that. Just look at how one took over the other. It was just a constant. What you just said, Paul. It's they've got shit, we want their shit, right? So then it's I'm taking your stuff, even though I'm not as advanced as you in farming or agriculture, whatever. It is that, and it's amazing to see the way it just develops. It's one consumes the other, consumes the other. But every time they did that, they seem to lose something as well. They might have gained land and cities and technology, but they also lost a lot of things in the process too. So it's like,
it never lasts. It's like a sort of fit. I mean, if you think about every empire, so-called, they spread out through the use of force and they take over territory and then they say it's ours for a while. And in every single case, like the sea, it recedes. It always goes back to how it was every single time because nature won't have it any other way. The conqueror is not rooted in that land. Thinks they are. They put all their buildings up and they say you're going to do all this kind of stuff, and it lasts for a while, and it may produce some benefits almost by accident. It may well do that, but in the end it always goes back. It's based on acquisitive greed, and it's based on certain forces in the world, primarily which I would say are located in the banking industry, that view the whole world as a place to be raped and pillaged, and they're able to control governments to do these things. And I've seen what Steve's saying is absolutely true. However, there was a but coming up. I'm not trying to invalidate it. We don't live there where everybody is a moral person yet. Not that I can see. I can't see that.
We should strive for that. I mean, I'm now doing.
Of course we should, and every individual's got to do it. And then we've got all these people at different levels. You've got people born into really tough circumstances, and they end up as being criminals and stuff. And I wish they didn't, but it's always been there. But I don't think you can ever fully eliminate these things, but we could reduce them considerably It seems to me as though they're exacerbated excessively by this force, as opposed to being constrained and reduced. They, if you think about it in normal human relations, there is a competitiveness that exists. Now, people go, well, if it gets excessive, it leads to bloodshed. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it seems to have done that quite a bit. What do? What are we supposed to do as a people here? Our government are basically waging war on us. They just are.
This is now treason. There's no other way of looking at it. It's treason. They're attacking their own people. They're attacking their own nation.
Yeah.
They are doing that.
Yeah, but you and I saying this, even though what we've said is true, I'm looking out my door and stopped. It's still going on. It's still going.
Exactly.
In other words, you go, right, I've used words. We've come here to communicate in all honesty and good faith. You're ignoring us. Oh, actually, you won't even let me in the room. Oh, you won't even let me get anywhere near the room. Actually, you've just passed a law to say I can't even think that. There's nothing left for me. There's nothing left in life. In other words, all these areas where I need to grow and get my own little battles working, because they exist. You have to have adversity in life. You won't grow without it. They're being removed. So we die. We become a demoralized, dead people. So you go, oh, what do? I fight, do I? And I'll probably die in the first minute, and this is horrible. But you know what? There's nothing else left for me. When everything else is taken from you, there's a phrase, when people lose everything, then they lose it. They lose their composure. They just lose it completely. And this is where we're being pushed to. You take everything from people, they've got nothing left, they go, fuck it. And our behavior will descend to the lowest level. And it's not us that sort of initiated that. It's this countervailing force, which is literally evil. And evil will always exist, always, because the light comes out of the darkness. It's not the other way around. And without the darkness, without the darkness in the background, you've got no backdrop against which to recognize the light, which draws you to it and pulls you to the truth. And it's set up this way. There will be adversarial situations that are going to propel you towards the light. That's how it works.
No, I absolutely agree with that. There's always going to be the contrast. There's always going to be the light and the dark, and one's always going to fuel the other. The dark will take advantage of the light, and the light will learn from the dark, and so it's a constant circular thing that occurs in nature, right? This is, it's a necessity. It's what drives us forward. Unfortunately, sometimes the dark tends to feed a little bit too much, and then leaves the rest of the world hungry, so to speak. That's probably a terrible analogy, but I agree. And there's always going to be that. It doesn't even need to be in balance. All evil just needs a small percentage, because it will take advantage. It will do what it needs to do to survive. It will take the piss. It will pillage and all the other stuff. It's going to do all that nasty stuff that the light wouldn't do unless it's forced into a situation where it has no choice but to rebalance the equation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether I'm speaking cryptically at this point, but
well, shall we end on what Survival Seed said? Natural law is the law of creation. It exists everywhere and applies to everyone, forever. We need to remember it and follow it instead of making up bullshit. I think that is quite a good one.
It's true, but we will make up bullshit because it's part of our learning curve. We're not born in a state of absolute knowing all things. That's part of the journey.
That's right. But you have to refer
I'm not against what's being said. I'm just pointing out what is. I know how I would want it to be. I've just been reading something the last few days, an amazing book that I read about 15 years ago. It's an occult book. And occult simply means hidden knowledge. That's all it means. It's nothing spooky. It simply means hidden stuff. And it's the story of a messenger taking a young man and a young woman through all these different stages of creation from the beginning of the existence of it's an amazing book. And I read some of it and go, this is crap. And then I read another page and go, amazing. And I'm going through little phases. It's called The Golden Star. And it was written in 1939. And it's it's extremely tortuous language at times. I have to stop after I've read a paragraph and stuff like this. And I've got lots of these sorts of books. That doesn't mean to say I've learnt well from them. That's why I have to go back and sometimes reread them again and look at these things.
This is why my forthcoming book, Ambio, Association of Master Among Excrement Observers, will hopefully be in good bookshops or be on Amazon sometime next year. I'm still
Ambio. What a lovely
Ambio.
word.
Yes, Ambio. I've just made about Ambio, and I think it works. The Association of Master Bovine Excrement Observers, and it's a kind of bit like a kind of dictionary or reference book of bullshit. Because what I've said is bullshit is basically artificial truth with an expiry date. That's all it is, really. That's what bullshit is. And the quality, you measure the quality of it. And I said that we should be like art critics. So when someone's bullshitting, you go, yes. And sort of look at it as an art critic and enjoy it. If someone's being condescending to you, enjoy it as if it's a piece of theatre and sort of recommend ideas to make their bullshitting even better. So this is, I think this is what we need. It'd be the world's first book, like a sort of reference book of bullshit. So if someone's bullshitting, you can look up the page and sort of give them the book. So yeah, reference such and such a page. Show. Anyway,
sorry. The comment that's just come up there. Materialism will tell you the truth. It's idealism that has all the bullshit theories. So this is what I call splitting. This is extremism. This is taking one side of the equation is always right and the other side is always wrong. It doesn't work that way. Sorry, tinkle. I'm sorry. There's you get truth from both materialism and idealism. One fuels the other. The idealism is the thought behind the action. Materialism is the outcome, cause and effect. There's way more to that, but there you go.
And it says Survival Steve says he answers the answers, I think, have been there since the start of time. Man's ego won't accept a creator, so we continue to suffer from our own ignorance. And Mark Anthony said, excellent discussion tonight. Well, I'm enjoying it. Trouble is, it's past 11 and I'm going to fall off to sleep in a minute because we've been trying to sort of end the show for a little while, but
sorry about that.
I think no, it's okay. I think we better end it now because I'm going to collapse because I was up about 5:30 this morning, so I'm getting a bit tired.
What we need to do, Eric, is nail you down to a hard out at 11 o'clock. You need to really think about a hard, so that you say to everybody, we got 5 minutes to go, and it forces it. It's good to have a real hard ending time. You need to choose one because it's never 2 hours, is it?
No.
So 8 till 10's a complete lie. It's rubbish, right?
I mean, I'm just proud of you for getting this far.
Yeah, it's great. Well done.
Yeah.
But maybe you want to say 11 or 10:30, but you need to really come in with that. And then I'll shout out, we got 5 minutes to go. It's last sentences at the bar, please.
Yes.
I mean, you got some lounges to be going in and talking to your wife and driving her crazy with this stuff or whatever. That's it.
Well, as my uncles used to say, must excuse me, I've been slaving over a hot woman all morning. That's my uncle's pet saying. He always used to say, he said, excuse me, I'm a bit tired. I've been slaving over a hot woman all morning. Another one, he scratches his backside and say, excuse me, I've got a tooth coming through. He used to say that on stage, and people used to just collapse with laughter because he played the bass, and he'd stop and crack a gag and carry on playing the bass. And he's in a band called the Buddy Good Band. That's pretty good. Anyway, thank you so much, and thank you everybody in chat. And this is a absolute terrific evening. I've really enjoyed every moment, every bit of it.
Yeah, it's been great.
Or terrific afternoon if you're in America. So there we go. It doesn't really matter. So there we are. Thanks, fellas. Anything you'd like to say before we sign off for tonight?
Yeah,
join us on Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Oh, yes.
What's that?
Join us on Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Oh, there we go.
So next install, we'll carry on with some of these discussions, Eric, on Thursday, because I think that
they are good. Yeah,
they're the discussions at the moment. They're great. It's really good.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Good. Those learning stuff, it's great. So I was just going to say, just as we're going out, remember, as your propaganda minister, everything I say is right and you're all wrong. There you go. And you will be unhappy about that. You'll be very unhappy about that.
Hang on. Just a minute. Yeah? Will somebody get that?
Oh. I'm not answering
Raid,
that.
we've got to get out. That's cops. They're coming.
All
They're
right.
kicking us out of the studio. Come on, bugger off. Everybody get out.
Well, remember, stick the old thumbs up. Please subscribe, and also get onto the old Telegram channel. Where is it? It's down there. Here it is. And also Facebook, and also there's Paul's Telegram channel as well. What's that called? It's Paul.
Just go to Paul English Live for all my stuff. All the links are at paulenglishllive.com. Yeah.
Okay, and
and everybody like the video. Just click the likes on YouTube and
it helps.
Love it up.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
whatever happens, have a bloody good laugh, and see you on Thursday. And good night.